So I was busy trying to get there.
I don't know how you do it. This woman got Energizer Bunny. Is that even a thing anymore? Do people know who the Energizer Bunny is?
Go away are the mascot. Honestly, I don't know any mascot that's like popping right now. That's not like a older mascot that's already been in
The
the zeitgeist
creepy
for a long
hockey
time.
one. The hockey one. Gritty. He's creepy.
Oh yeah, great. That is
He
very
scares
true.
me.
Oh, when I did Zoom trivia, one of the main guys was like this guy from Philly. He actually has like that Pearl Mania 5000 type of vibe. He's kind of like
Oh
that
my god.
guy.
I
A
love
different type of
Pearlmania.
yeah. He's like a more muted, different type of like white guy energy, but like the same type of energy for him. And like, so like it was the Zoom things where he used to host like team building exercises. And so sometimes like you turn off Zoom and you have your like profile picture or whatever. He'd make sure that he'd have his profile picture as gritty, and like for co-hosts, sometimes he would only be your profile picture. So while like the company, hey guys, let's team build, there'd be this one person that's like the
No, that's
entire time.
terrifying. Oh my god. You know what?
He's a fun dude.
You need that person in your office. You need that person in your
Oh
life
yeah.
because they're the person you're gonna kiki with looking at the manager. Your manager's toupee is like halfway on, but they don't pay you enough to tell them. So, yeah. What's up,
Oh no.
spillage?
I don't get paid. Spill the bills. Oh, I didn't know we were live, dude. I would
Girl,
have
you
said
watched the
my
whole
social
countdown.
security number. You
I
had a whole countdown, girl. I was not
had it
paying
on
attention.
screen and every. We're, we're gonna talk about. You know what? We're gonna talk about Rooster Teeth today. Now, uh, Rooster Teeth is honestly probably the reason I got into media creation. I know for a lot
Yeah.
of people, it hasn't been that bitch in years, and
Hmm.
we're gonna talk about that. Rooster Teeth. The reason we can have gaming on YouTube is because of Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth branched off. They did a lot of stuff. But before we get into that, 40. It's been a while. You know, I was sick last week. How you been? How you been?
Well, I'm fine now that you're fine. I was really worried about you, dear, because you were sick with multiple things. It was hell on top of hell. And now
Yeah.
you looking fine as hell. So obviously you're feeling pretty okay, right? Dab on them right now with your soccer jersey. Um,
David Beckham when he was in England still.
oh
Not like
man,
Beckham, but the jersey was cheap.
I'm broke but swag. Hello.
Okay, let's. I have two newer jerseys: a Portland Thorns
Mhm.
jersey from Tobin Heath and a
Mm.
Utah Royals jersey from Kelly O'Hara. Both women's national soccer players. Love them. Each jersey was like $200, and I'm scared to wear them. And
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
that defeats
yeah.
the purpose.
I got my Lamar Jackson jersey for free off the internet because I was in the internet forums. I was like, he's gonna be good, and this one was like, not. And then I think he's rich, so he just like he made a bet, and I was not gonna return the bet the other way. Luckily, he was good. Oh shit! But
Right.
it's like $180 for like a press on, not even a stitch. And
Right?
sports jerseys are crazy price, man. So I don't. But Bend It Like Beckham, did you like that as a kid? I liked that as a kid, and I didn't realize why, and I was like, "'Cause it's gay, sweetheart."
Girl, that movie is so gay. That is most people's gay awakening. That's
Yeah.
I'm not a cheerleader for our generation.
It's not I'm not a cheerleader.
That's
The
bottoms
moment
for our generation.
I still haven't watched that. I need to. I definitely need to.
It's
Uh,
not my favorite, but I can
not your
understand why
favorite.
people like it. I just
Okay.
my my experience in high school was so different that I can't relate to it, and I can't. My experience as a queer person today is so different that
Yeah.
I'm like, that's I never had that experience of being like
People
awkward and ostracized because I was didn't care. Like I'm not gonna
I
see you
mean,
guys in 3 years. I don't care.
I feel like you have the energy that people are like, "Hey, that's the hugger. She's like the girl. She's the bro. Like she's that, you know?" It was just like, "Hey, cool." Like,
I
not
don't know if I
necessarily,
was.
like, popular, but, like, everybody was cool with you, you know?
I tried to
Yeah.
be cool with everybody because at the end of the day, look, we all live in the same city. We might see each other, and Or,
Mhm.
you might get into like a career like this. And I never want stories to be, yeah, she was a bitch. Like, no,
Uh,
she was high and didn't care. That's what I want.
right. She was hiding.
Didn't care.
That is definitely man, like when like people are young nowadays and they like actually I was so not aware of my gayness that like I could not conceptualize it, to be honest. Like it took someone like literally kissing on my neck and I was like, "Oh shit, like this women shit. This makes sense. This
Yep.
actually makes a deal." Like I swear to goodness, like I had gay friends and I was just like, this doesn't like process." So
Yep.
the fact that people are like so into their gaydom, that's great. I'm glad. My gay awakening though was Miss Honey from Matilda. Sweet
Oh,
lady,
shut
sweet
the hell
lady,
up.
sweet lady. Oh
Yes.
my god, oh my god. She was just like so sweet. It was like kind. It was like
Yeah.
and fine. 369, damn girl, fine and kind. Talk it to me. Sock it to me.
One more time.
Well.
Mm.
Oh, ooh, I'm starting to get my knees better, guys. Don't tempt me. I'm gonna get low right here in the pod. No, I'm
She
just
gonna
kidding.
twerk, hurt herself, throw her back out, and we're gonna be like, you just do it from the floor, girl. We're doing the show from the floor.
I actually did kind of hurt my back. I'm actually getting my strength back, and I did hurt my back like yesterday for no reason. I stretched so well, except for yesterday. I know I didn't
Well,
stretch well,
30, the
but
warranty falls off. So
honestly, the crinks and cracks and crinkles. And my family has bad knees too, so I have to make sure I do like the glute exercises or else my knees will disintegrate, which I don't need any more glute exercises, god damn it. But okay, sure.
never too much glute exercises. Because your glute is like, they say the core is your stable, but no, you use your butt muscles for so much that you're just like,
Yeah,
that.
man. Man, I'm low key relearning how to walk because I realized I didn't use my hip on one of my legs. I kind of just threw one of my legs out there and I still got a butt, but then that makes my butt so much bigger when I'm training the muscle so I can walk again. And it's like, I don't need more ass, bro. I do not.
You just brought up something like shaking of people need to, as you get older, especially if you want to get into fitness, you should go to somebody to reevaluate how you walk because I can guarantee you don't walk right and it's
Mhm.
throwing your body off. And once you
Yeah.
learn like the straight up proper walking that's even on both sides, a lot of your life will change. But you're like, I walk the way I walk. This is my signature. No, you walk because your
No.
body's compensating, maybe.
No, like literally. So I have a very particular walk. Apparently, like
You
people
got the
know I
swag
like.
dripping out.
I'll be
You
feeling
walk
like
in
a girl when
like
I
one of them
walk
old
through.
gangsters. Just like,
Ooh, what's that meme with the guy that
yeah,
be
you gotta drop the shoulder, girl. Just,
lean
That's how
back
you
with
walk.
it, lean back with it. No, no, it's not nearly as cool. I walk like with my feet, duck feet, or it's a duck feet,
Yep.
whatever, and like out and like it's so funny because I injured myself. I used to work for the Atlanta Hawks. Injured myself going to a PT place. I hadn't seen this guy in not even 8 years, over 10 years. He was like riding past me. Apparently, he lived in the same neighborhood. He was riding past and he like dropped me off and like gave me a drop off. And he was like, Andrea, is that you? I recognize you
Your funky ass
because
walk.
you're yes, 'cause it's been nearly 10 years, damn near 15 years. And he was like, she just be like,
See, it's one thing to be, what's up, fame? What's up, B?
that,
It's one thing to be
that.
known for like, you're beautiful, you're funny, but hey, your funky ass walk.
Iconic.
I would never leave my house. I'd be done. If somebody said, "Oh, from the back I recognize you," and it's not a good way,
It's not because of that ass. It's because of that damn walk. It's like, oh shit.
it's because I'm a sniper's worst nightmare when I walk down the street. Like, what?
Intelligence agents looking at me. You can't hide that fucking. Look at that walk, bitch. I see you.
Yeah, that's wild. The fact that you get called out on so much shit is wild too. I just got
Bro,
an
I promise you. My
your
life is
life is a
hilarious.
story. Your life is a story.
Why do you think I used to do stand up? I actually want to get back into it, man. I'm like, never mind. I'm not gonna say
You
that. Oh
should,
my god, I was gonna go. I was gonna say
but
my
yes,
titties
and
are sweaty because it's like great. It's humid right now. It's Atlanta. It's Atlantaing.
it's global warming, baby. I feel like my camera's really short. We are
You
in
are really short, so honestly, it works out.
your bitch. We're in March, and like yesterday we had almost summer temperatures. It was like 16 here, which is like getting into the really hot temperatures. I'm like, it is it is March. It's supposed to snow. Why am I looking at spring flowers? Because they're blooming.
Oh
Because
my god. Oh my god. I'm always. What did you walk
fame
into?
with the $2
Titty,
super chat, he says.
titty sweat and flowers. Environmentalism. Yeah.
Fame, if you guys don't get Fame's gonna get a little accent. Fame is the head, the heart, the soul of level one gaming. And if you're listening to this now later, or you're listening onto Spotify, because these do go up on Spotify, same with 2XP, I want
Mhm.
y'all to just know that Fame is the reason we are all here. Fame is the reason, and not in like an ego way. It's just this man deserves his flowers. He deserves respect.
Yes.
Like, you've been with us for a year and you've seen how this man moves. Tell me he is not one of the kindest, hardest, honest, him and Baron. Let me not, I know I
Yes.
shit talk on Baron all the time. Both of these motherfuckers.
Feet supreme.
These boys.
Shout out to Baron. I always say thank you to Baron because I would not be around this ecosystem, would not be around this munchkin of an individual I love so much.
Continue.
This has been like 3 short jokes. I usually don't go with the short jokes, but I'm just firing it off right now.
That's why I
And
can't see them anyway.
when we meet, it's gonna be crazy because I'm getting off even more. It's gonna be great. I just mentally prepared for that. But also Fame too. I'm not lying when I say that I listen and I look at Fame and I really like his ability to host is so good and to keep the conversation going and to throw back and to introduce more information and things like that. Like I'm a student of the game. Obviously, anything I do, I try to get better and I try to look at things that I appreciate from everybody. And that's definitely Fame. Famous entertainment, one famous entertainment. So thank you uh for making this so that we can talk about Rooster Teeth and Dixon Hugger being short. Volvies.
Y- yeah, amen. Rooster Teeth, dicks, and short. But Rooster Teeth,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
this is embarrassing. I don't even know if I'm gonna show y'all because mainly because the camera is out of focus because I used a fixed lens. But I keep talking, keep talking.
Okay. Everybody's question is when you experienced Rooster Teeth, right? When you first came across them, because they have been existing. You're so cute. Since like 2004, 2003, one of those. Um,
Very, very
and it's
early.
yeah, very early. Again, but legitimately before YouTube. And when I go on my spiel, I'll talk about that. You're such a nerd.
I have the old Rooster Teeth flag.
Not the new RT bullshit. We're talking about the cock and teeth, the rooster teeth. That one.
This is the big
Man,
flags they used to sell, man.
the original one. Back when they used to do the down dun 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 dun
Yep.
dun dun
It's
dun
still hanging
dun
on my
dun dun
wall 10
dun.
years
Brum,
later.
brum. Brum, bum, do, 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 do. But it's unique because not only did they harp on something which was a cultural zeitgeist in itself, which was machinima, right? That was a big thing. I remember 2007. Like there was one time I had strep throat the whole week. I looked up as much machinima and then Roy Mustang and RZA Hawkeye fan fiction as possible because I was just bored and that was just it, right? But they were
Mm-hmm.
there before YouTube and created Red versus Blue, which is one of the staples of the early internet. was the forefront of early content creation, and it's always a question as to, like, where you first encountered Rooster Teeth. So my question to you, Hugger, when did you first get into the Rooster Teeth stew?
Um, I'll be honest, I came in it weirdly because I came in Achievement Hunter first, and I didn't
Oh,
know
Achievement
Rooster Teeth
Hunter. Okay.
because I used to watch Michael's Rage Quit series where he would get just angry and play games, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my shit.
What's what's the first one? Because I remember Crackdown was his first one, but I remember, like, there was, like, Saints Row. There was a lot of different ones that he had never had. Um,
Yeah.
I
It
can
was
remember.
probably one of those shitty little flash games that he used to play in the beginning. Because
Yeah, yeah, because he used to
those
the
bad.
rage-inducing ones, for real, yeah.
Yep. I think that was
Geometry
because
Wars?
I've never been a Halo fan until
Yeah.
recently. Never had an
Hmm.
Xbox, so I wasn't there. Thing that brought me really into it was Ruby. I really loved Ruby. I think it
Ah,
fell apart,
ah,
and I have thoughts on Ruby, but once I watched Ruby and I was like, oh, this is animation that is not Japanese, that is American, that still looks good. Story is
yeah,
good, and the company at the when Ruby started, I know there's controversy now, it seemed to care about its people. And they weren't
yeah.
crunching people. But that we know that wasn't the case. They were crunching people.
Nah, they were.
Where
But shout out
where
to
did
the
you fall in?
original animator, Monty,
Ah,
who
eh,
yeah, 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 and this is where, like, we're OGs, honestly.
yes,
I
a
will
lot of
get
this is gonna be before a lot of you watching are a
yeah,
lot older with us, so you guys will get this. But if you're listening
yeah,
now, don't take that 22 years that Rooster Teeth has been here as well. They haven't done anything in the last 5 years. Rooster Teeth was Rooster
it
Teeth.
was it.
They
That was the bit,
they were they were some
the
of the
it girl.
first to go to E3. They were some of the first to be
Yeah.
taken by serious by the movie industries. They were
Yeah,
the
South by
first.
Southwest, yeah.
They were the first to do their own conventions. Like Rooster Teeth
Mhm.
is the reason we have our shit. Like
Yes. Yeah, no, honestly, this is why, like, when you were talking about, like, people being, like, angry and mean, honestly, I'm very sentimental when it comes to Rooster Teeth. There's probably a part in this retrospective where I might cry,
oh
because
yeah.
Rooster Teeth does mean that much to me. But I remember first encountering Rooster Teeth, and it was early, it was before YouTube. So much so I remember watching because I wasn't necessarily like I was a Halo fan. I played the Halo demo like a lot. That was like a free demo that actually allowed you to do multiplayer, which a
Still
lot of things
community
didn't.
thriving.
Still thriving to this day. For me, I didn't own a good computer, so, like, I can only limit to certain types of games in the first place. That's why I'm very much into the retro space in general, because of emulators.
Mm.
But Halo was low fidelity. You could play that and play that online. So, like, I liked Halo, but I necessarily wasn't, like, into the zeitgeist. I found out about Machinima. I forgot how. I think I actually started on, like, Sims Machinima or like GTA Machinima actually. But I knew about Machinima, and if for all you guys who don't know, Machinima is basically like creating a movie or creating a short film or a sitcom, any type of like media entertainment with like video games, right? It was a very new concept at the time. Before YouTube existed, I was looking for gaming media, and something that I stumbled upon was Red versus Blue. I watched the entire first 2 or 3 seasons on Google Videos. Google Videos does not exist anymore.
Google it. Blech.
It was on
Girl.
Google Videos. I don't
Oh,
think they uploaded onto YouTube at that time. I think it was only on their website that they uploaded to. YouTube
uh,
was actually, like, again, still new.
yep.
But
2003 they
Goo
were founded. Yep.
Yeah, I was not 2003, it was probably, like, 2006, 2007. I remember, like, it was when my, brother was with, one of his girlfriends that was, like, a close family friend, and I think it was 2007. Again, there was one summer where all I did was watch Machinima, and,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, a big portion of that, Red versus Blue was that, but not only Red versus Blue, there was Red versus Blue, there was 1-800-PANIC, and there was also Strangerhood. And Strangerhood don't get talked
Wow.
about enough. That was their Sims one, and that was really fucking good, man. That was a really good
Strangerhood was
machinima.
good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you went back and looked at the class because most people they only look at Red versus Blue, which is fine because Red versus Blue is it's iconic of its own. But like they were not just in the machinima field in the Halo space. They were in it for so many different games, and for as like you're seeing this fluid animation, this did not exist. All they did was like they like recorded each other like going up and down and talking, and that
Mm-hmm.
was like how they did it. Like this
Mm-hmm.
fluid animation, I didn't think existed until after like I think after Monty died. I
This
know it
is
was
all
well
redone.
after Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it was well
They
after
went back
Ruby,
and
but
did all the fight scenes for a lot of the year one and stuff when they released it on Blu-ray, I think. They went back and just like overhauled a lot of stuff.
yeah, yeah. But like it's so interesting because we talk about how foundational they are in the media space, not only being one of the forefronts of machinima. They were not all of machinima. Of course, there's something like machinima.com. And honestly, I don't
Yeah.
think machinima.com also had all of the machinima. There was still a lot of indie machinima that was like hard to find. In fact, a couple years ago, I found like a machinima I really loved back in the day, which was like a GTA Cribs one, which is by just some dude. And like there are some people who are like loving it, right?
Yep.
But not only in machinima space, but then also you talk about Let's Play Achievement Hunter. The term Let's Play did not exist in the cultural
Without
like
them.
zeitgeist. Like it was just I remember looking up like I want to look at this game. I would have to look up title of the game with commentary, right? In order to make sure it was somebody who was playing the game with their voice instead of actually playing. So they actually leaned into the let's play bit a lot more. And that's why they were doing let's play. That's why Achievement Hunter and were forefront of a lot of things. But I've talked a little bit. That's a little bit of how I started. But I started not early, but uh, I can say this before the original run of the first Red versus Blue, because I think Red versus Blue, the original run was 100 episodes, so well before that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hmm.
It isn't really like until you. So I pulled up a. This was from a couple years ago, just their summer lineup of shows. And I was like, I watched so many of these. We got Red versus Blue, Nomad of
Yeah.
Nowhere, which was their anime series, $1 million
Mm.
plus. They are originators of podcasting because their original Rooster
Yes.
Teeth podcast talking about Lost for hours. I'm like, oh my God. I hate it, but I love it.
No,
Immersion, which is when they went to not WB. Who were they with before? Time Warner,
Time
I think.
Warner. Hmm. Hmm.
That's when they like people were kind of fell off because that Immersion was like
Yeah.
Gavin and Dan. They were doing the surgery series for like the Surgeon Simulator and like GTA and stuff. On the Spot
Yeah.
was it was interesting. I think John is a very talented creator, but and he was blessed with Rooster Teeth. We're gonna talk about the people, but like
Yeah.
I would love to meet Barbara. Barbara,
Oh my God. Yes. What are you talking
I want
about?
to
I would
shake
love to
her
meet her.
fucking hand.
Oh my God. No. I think one of the best things about listening to the Teeth podcast, and I will go into this, I will need a whole segment because again, the Rooster Teeth podcast quite literally saved my life. But
Mhm.
like listening to her, like how she started in the company as like just like a random fan and then ended up being like an integral part of the system. Like it gave me hope, honestly, navigating through this space and wanting to be in a space like this. Because
Mhm.
she went from just a fan to like event planning for RTX and like really being like a foundational piece of the company while being funny as shit too. So
And
like
beautiful, talented. Like she's so
mhm.
vital that the original founder Bernie Burns left, and people were just like, okay, yeah,
Learning.
but at least Barbara, Gus, Gav, they're
Yeah.
all still there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. And to be a woman in the space, because like we get to sit here, we're two women talking about this, but she was in a
Mhm.
time where I don't want to hear what that woman has to say. She doesn't know anything, and she's still
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. First of all, Canadian how Canadian of you women. Uh
She is Canadian too. That's why I'm like, yeah,
She
Barbara.
is very Canadian. That's why I was like, you love her extra. What part of Canadian land is she from, by the way?
I think she's from Ontario, so down east, so the other side of the country. But
Ontario.
I would,
Okay, yeah.
I would love Barbara Dunkelman. If you are listening in some way, shape, or form, and this just reaches your ears, can you just come on so we can just have some fun? Like,
Absolutely. Fun. Oh, no, honestly, she'd be so fucking funny, bro. She'd be so fucking funny, bro. She'd be hilarious. And like ever since the beginning, like it's hard to figure out because again, I could tell you my whole like story with the Rooster Teeth. I was there not from the beginning, but like because I listened to the podcast from the beginning, I feel like I know from the beginning, like
but you
when
do.
the
You have been there from the beginning because I'm not
uh,
somebody that's gonna go back and listen to the early shows.
no, well, the whole reason I listened to the early shows was because I was horribly depressed, so I just needed something to
Mhm.
like keep me by. I'll get into it probably the next time going forward. But like I listened to all of the episodes and like again, they were such a good job at like really integrating the community. Uh Again, a standard as how to build a community and build a platform.
Mhm.
Because they started with Red versus Blue, right? And although there was 1-800 Panic and there was Strangerhood, right? Red versus Blue was like the it girl, right?
Yep.
ITT, our girl. Um,
Mm. Am I a
so
Nikki fan? Pull up in the red versus blue. Like,
come on,
mm,
come on, please, period. Hello.
period.
And the thing
Period.
is too, like I can remember the first I forgot what the first phrase of like, like anyway, the first phrase they read versus view is iconic of its own and it ended like that as well. But like they went from that to doing Achievement Hunter to doing I don't even think Achievement Hunter was first. I think Let's Play was first and then Achievement
Yes.
Hunter. No, mm,
No,
I
Achievement Hunter
would
might
say
have been first, and then I think Let's Play
yes.
branched off because people wanted short content.
Yes, Achievement Hunter was first, I believe, because Bernie and them were also really obsessed. I remember listening to them talk about how obsessed they were with like the Dead Rising 72 hours like achievement, which is like one of the bigger achievements, like rare.
It's
Like it was like the
impossible.
Left 4 Dead 2 one. Yeah, no, it's fucking ridiculous. Like especially
Yeah.
that game. Fuck that game. I love that game, but fuck that game.
Fuck that whole game. Fuck that whole game.
The survivors make that game like bullshit. It's my comfort watch. Like literally, I right before this, I was looking at someone play Dead Rising challenges for like 12 hours. One of my favorite streamers is actually like a horror streamer, but like I found them through Dead Rising. But like they did Achievement Hunter. I believe that's how Ray got picked up.
Yes.
Which Ray Navarez? What was his
Yeah.
last name? I forget his name. Yeah.
Navarez. It's
But
close. Yeah, something like that. Gavin.
yeah,
Gav.
something like that. Yeah, Gavin. Oh boy,
X-Ray.
and Gavin, he was like 12 years old, and then somehow ended up like that. But like it gave a lot of hope too for people who make up my mom birthday. It gave a lot of hope for people who were first starting in this media space because I feel, especially after G4, right? There was
Yep.
no like real, I guess, home for gaming people to go to, right? I'd bounce a lot of different
They
places after G4.
didn't feel media sanitized because
N
there was some, but they were like
No.
very corporate, and it's like
Yeah.
you're lying to me,
M
bitch.
Yes. Machinima is one of that like, I was not a huge Machinima fan, even though, like,
I'm gonna be started on
2
this.
people
I worked for them for
2
a
people
small period of time. It was the worst time I ever had on YouTube. Oh my god.
wait, what? You worked for Machinima?
I used to do a lot of behind the scenes. Like I'm trying to do it now in level 1 where I kind of step back and do behind the scenes stuff because I can't be I don't want to be front and face and center. I can't. I'm not
That's
that type of
exhausting.
person that can maintain that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I did like video editing, uploading the videos, scheduling every video that went up. And I worked with Machinima for a bit, doing stuff like that. I worked with Ultra, and it was just like they would have they would give you like you could make a list of the videos that would come in and you could approve them and deny them, like trailers for channels and stuff. Some of them were ass, some of them were good. But if you didn't maintain the quality that they asked by just uploading whatever video, you would get in trouble. And I'm like, you want quality,
Hello?
but you want me to put out this shit. I was like, I'm trying to get you better videos. So I was like, I'm not doing
Yes.
this. Mm-mm.
No, and there was something about the way that machinima.com worked in the first place. Like that wasn't even like, as someone who was obsessed with machinima at the time, like I didn't even like them. There were two people, Ricky FTW and whatever his name is. You probably actually might know them because
Remember
uh
C-Nanners?
huh?
C-Nanners?
I don't know what their old name was, but now they're like Internet Today and ETC Extra is what their name was. Maybe you might know them. They were on Machinima. They used to like news, and there was also this guy named Jordan who also helped with them as well. But it's not the Jordan that's YouTube. There's a lot of Jordans, but not the
There's so
the
many.
Rooster
There's
Teeth
so
Jordan.
many. There's so many.
Yeah. um but yeah, so like there were a lot of people who were like very corporate, but like that felt like a firm community where like you could go because there were so many different places. After GameStop, I was looking for places and people to go to, and I found like several different creators like AVGN. I found out like after the post G4 hole in my life, right? There was this podcast called HPAW, which is Pants Action Weekly, which are like a whole bunch of Canadian guys, and they like went and played games for like 12 hours. Yeah, that was like, I was like, man, Canadians, man, they just you guys have lunch breaks in between school. Like that's crazy to me. Like we don't do that, or at least they did. Like we don't fucking do that here. Um, but
Damn. Y'all okay?
no, and we're not okay. We're a severely decrepit institution of a country. But there were all these different spaces and all these different segments. But I was on GameStop for a while. I think Rooster Teeth was like one of the first like communities like I felt was actually organic and true. And because they brought in people who were actually content creators, whether that be Ray Navarez, who was like doing things for Achievement Hunter and actually finding like making guides on how to make achievements, which honestly was sorely needed in the YouTube space because Game Facts existed, but Game Facts was all just words, right? So having
Yeah.
a YouTube tutorial, video tutorial was actually great, right? Rage Quit, which I remember the first days of Rage Quit, right? I
Yeah.
legitimately remember when Michael first came on. It was his Crackdown video that like Jeff laughed at so much and was able to like think, and then bringing in Barbara and different people like that. Gavin also too, who also was doing like film stuff outside of Rooster Teeth, and because he was just in their ecosystem so long, they just brought him in. It made you feel like you could make it as a content creator person, and that this was a viable space for you to do that because they were growing, they were making their livelihood for it, and they were bringing people in. And especially after G4 for gamers, there was a need for wanting that space. As two people, I think we've already talked about this, like two people who wanted to like kind of wanted to do this but didn't, it wasn't really a thing.
Hmm.
So it was just like question mark. And I don't know how like what you did to compensate in the meantime. For me, like I knew I couldn't do this because this didn't exist, like gaming media talking about gaming. So I just was like, I guess I'll be a game programmer or something like that. But like
Let's play route.
let's play
Vi-
right.
Videos
Yeah.
every single day for 10 years straight.
Wait,
And
you?
I will never do that shit again. That's why I like
Whoa!
I know
Every
I
day?
know every single day.
Oh
Holidays,
my
everything.
god. Holidays, girl. I remember when I first started, I was dedicated, but not that dedicated. Girl, you were grinding.
And that's why I feel like I do feel bad that I don't make more videos, but I'm also like 10 years. Go watch something. Like go. I'm tired.
Mm-mm.
I'm burnt out. I've been doing this since I was 17. I'm tired, guys. Let me have if I want to disappear into the ether for 5 years, I think I deserve that. I've been
You have
I've been on
content for
YouTube.
days.
I've been on YouTube so long that there was a time where if you watched on your phone, it was a detriment to us because views did not count on your phones. You could not get paid. And Rooster
I
Teeth was right there.
I didn't actually know about that system, to be honest. I've been there from the jump, but I didn't know about that system. Interesting.
You
What?
if you watched on your phone back in the gaff, it did not count as a
Yeah.
view, so you could not get paid. So
Wow.
people were begging people to watch on their computers because
Wow.
you couldn't make money.
Mm,
But
damn it. You've been in the trenches long, girl. Look at you. This makes
oh,
sense. This makes
I got
sense.
horror stories. I remember video replies, the video reply girls when Keemstar first was like a troll. I've been
Oh,
through
with RE video title. Like, yeah.
yeah.
And that's
I've
how a
been on
lot of people
YouTube since
actually
its
got their fame.
inception. Exactly.
I actually I remember the first time I looked at YouTube was like for a Tekken trailer. I was like, "What the fuck is this website?" Because again, like I found out a lot of different places, like from GameStop. GameSpot for me was how I figured out like AVGN, the Hot Pants Action Weekly. I talked about HPAW. Shout out to them Canadian boys. But
Mhm.
like Canadians, man, always around. Um,
If we're not
but
doing war crimes, we're here, just being weird.
oh no, we got enough war crimes for both of us, baby. Uh,
I
shout
hope
out
you
to Yobi,
know
by the
the
way.
reason why. Like, side note, if you ever want to be like, what does Canada do? Go look at the Geneva Convention and like the reason why there's a big thing in a certain part of the country right now where if you drop food, you can't be firing on citizens. You can't shoot somebody to draw a medic out. Canada was the reason a lot of that happened. There's a reason why there's a lot of weapons banned, chemical warfare banned. The things
Yeah.
Canada did during the wars is atrocious. Even as a Canadian,
Oh,
I'm like, oh, oh shit. But
oh my
ends to a
gosh.
mean, I guess.
and, and and
Canada's
don't get
wild.
started. Don't get started on craters in the middle of the world, like just random craters that might have bodies of people in schools that strip people of their culture.
Not saying we do.
That might be a thing. Um,
Maybe.
but and I guess I'll go through this now. Because it's emotionally, I didn't. So we were like talking about like doing Rooster Teeth like homage, right? And about how important Rooster Teeth was to us and how this like affected us, correct? Um, and I don't want to be emotional, but when I was thinking about like what I could say, I got really emotional thinking about it, and hopefully I'm not because I got dumb bitch juice in me and everything like that.
If you need to cry, it's okay to cry about losing Rooster Teeth because we're losing a lot of talent. We're losing an
Yeah.
institution that let us be who we are. Not only was it a space for gamers to explore themselves, it was a space for, let's be honest, it was one of the only spaces at the time that was big that was putting queer and people of color up for a lot of things. Losing Rooster Teeth is not a small thing. It's a very devastating thing. And we say this with love and jokes, but I'm not happy this is happening.
Oh no. When
I
you said
am
people were
devastated.
making jokes, oh,
Well,
people making jokes is crazy.
those are the people though that I think are my first game was Halo 4. They're very young. They don't understand
Oh
where
yeah, that's
Rooster Teeth
very true.
came from.
That's very
But
true.
Rooster Teeth
Yeah.
is an institution. To lose it, I bet you, if we lost Machinima, but Machinima was its own fault, we are going to see the
Yeah.
sanitization of gaming media again. This is not the first time we've gone through it, but it
Oof.
is to lose a pillar that was like back up. We got this. Is it's it's a change that I don't think we're ready for, and we won't see the consequences until years down the road when we're like, we used to be able to do things like this, and now we can't. So, oh,
Mm. Mm.
but cry, girl,
Yeah.
cry. It's okay to
No.
lose Rooster Teeth. Like, cry.
Girl, yeah, and now that we've mentioned crying, maybe that won't happen. Because I'm a tough girl. I don't cry.
I'm a strong, independent ball
But
that don't need no nutsack. You know.
strong, independent ball that don't need the. I'm literally a floating testy.
You know
Have
what's
you
not a
ever seen
floating
like
testy
beef
is
thistle?
Yobi though. Yobi,
Oh
hi
no, yes.
Yobi.
How are you doing, Yobi? I like snuck you in, but you do need that full on love and that heart. Boom,
And
boom.
yes,
Shout out to Yobi.
we will get our emotes. Don't worry. We will get
Yeah,
Gordy and I's emotes.
I I have been I have been low key in the trenches, like looking at like older things that we've done, and like this should be clips. So I'll actually like do that since even though I'm like in a non-productive phase, but I'm like in a non-productive productive phase where even in my non-productiveness I'd be productive. It's real weird. That's how my
I,
non-productiveness goes.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
there.
yeah. So it's just like keeping tabs on like things we should go back to. Anyway, um so we talked about this like again like hugger like I don't know if you when you were growing up, right, like did you see yourself doing this, or did you hope that you would do this, or it was just like whatever the fuck and you just end up happening to it?
I
How'd that
honestly
happen?
thought I would have. This wasn't an option when we were kids, so I thought
No.
I would do the traditional method of going to art school. And now I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm at a weird point because it's like it feels like the world wants you to be a celebrity to go into something, but I just want to be a normal person that's good at my job and gets into an industry. Like I don't want a following to have to go paint backgrounds for a
No.
video game, but it seems
No.
like that's what the world wants, even though it's not.
Yes.
I'm glad for this platform always. I'm glad I get to meet
Hmm.
everybody, but I did think since this wasn't a viable option that I would not be in this space, but I am here. I'm tired, but I think I've gotten the benefit of the doubt of being surrounded by people like you, very people that understand the world. And hey, if somebody doesn't make something for 6 months or is not around for 6 months, they don't mean they don't hate you. They hate you. They don't love you. It's just creative process is so intense that if you don't fill up
Mm.
your own cup, you can't give that cup to somebody else.
No, yeah,
And I think Rooster
absolutely.
Teeth never filled their cup back up. Let's be honest, because they were
Mm-mm-mm.
popping. Like when
Everything.
Ruby season 3 came out, I would think is when for most people the cultural zeitgeist was like they're doing Genlock with Michael B. Jordan. They were doing
Yeah.
movies. They were doing
Yeah,
a bunch of
movies.
stuff.
Yep.
And now it's like
Still
you
doing the
didn't let your cup
podcast,
fill up.
achievement, all that. Yeah,
Let it
absolutely.
fill up.
I think there's lessons to learn, like going forward for Rooster Teeth, because as you said, like for as much as we can talk about their like build up, we can talk about the fact that they overfilled their cup, right? Trying to be and do everything. And part of that might have been like, hey, we've been trying to build for so long, let's just fucking go for it and hopefully it can work out. And I honestly, fortunately, unfortunately it didn't. But as somebody who was there from the like beginning, right? Emotional. So I
Cry.
like being emotional, but I hate being emotional. Uh especially on camera for something. I like to be the fun girl on camera when it's not me. Um but
But this is
again,
our
this is
history. This is us as
I
people
kn-
because it has
I
shaped
know
us.
this is me. I know this is also this is us. But I don't again, I like the goofy
Girl,
girl. It's easy to be the goofy girl.
I'd rather you be the goofy girl and sometimes you cry and get it out than,
Mhm.
fluffing up your hair. This is what my hair looked like in the Bronx. This is when I used to run the block.
That pizza
Okay, if
joint that I went to that no, like,
yeah,
fuck them kids, they can't eat, it's only I eat.
if you know, you know. We're not gonna expand on that. Anyway, keep going. Be emotional. Like it's this is your
Yeah,
safe space. This is our safe space.
yes. Yeah, and, again, like, so I was a G4 baby, literally, like, grew up watching. I remember when Tech TV was still a thing. It was Tech TV, then it was Tech TV G4, then it was just G4.
The Spike Game
Um
Awards.
Yeah, yeah. This oh my god, the Spike Gaming Awards was so gross back then, where it was just Mountain Dew titties and
Girl,
Halo.
we're covering it again because we kind of touched on it when we talked about the Game Awards, but I need to go into the Spike Game Awards because
Ah, titties.
girl, every female like category is some dame, chick, girl, femme fatale. It is not like a
Yes.
like, okay.
No. No. It's like if you're not as caked up as Bayonetta, you're not allowed to pass go. Like that's it, right? Maybe Samus because she's caked up when she like takes off her armor, but only her.
But
She's
she's
pushing
mother.
it.
She's mother.
She is mother. Yes, she is mother.
Don't
She's
cry,
the Alpha
girl.
and Omega Foundation.
I'm trying to like
So
distract you so you don't cry, but I also want
yeah,
you to cry.
no, it's important because like again, like G4, I grew up, so like I remember like you take you guys don't have SAT. Wait, do you guys have SAT? I don't know if you guys have SAT and
We have
ACT and all
diplomas,
that.
like big tests at the end of the year for grade 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at those like tests, basically, you like put what you want your life to be. And I remember like thinking like fleetingly, like, oh man, it'd be cool to do like what Morgan Webb does and Adam Sessler, right? Which are people who did X Play, right?
Mhm.
Because X Play was really funny to me. Like it did like perfect confluence of culture and like video games, right? Which is on G4, right? So G4 was like my foundation, and then that ended, and so there was nothing left. And it was just like finding different things on GameSpot. I found AVGN, HBall, etc. I found Rooster Teeth. Watched like the first 3 seasons of it on Google Video. I was so down for it. I found out that they were actually an entity. I watched Strangerhood and all these
Yeah.
different things, and it became like a huge part of me. And I really liked this like gaming media space, right? But it was just some far fanatical thing that I couldn't touch. It was just out there in the region, right? And so throughout the years, I would look at Rooster Teeth take people on who were in their community, like Ray, like Gavin, like Barbara, and I would hope that I could do something like that. I could be something like that. But I think the I didn't realize like how important like Rooster Teeth was to me until like I struggle with depression. Um, and there was one moment in college where I just went through the ringer, right? It was just like my mom was diagnosed with cancer. She's fine now. But at the time it was just like I was like taking on a lot more responsibilities. I was like the president of this and vice president of that and like section leader and just a lot of different things in college. And like I was getting into my major and just a lot of different things, right? In my life. And I was very much struggling. And I really just funneled and really depended on like I guess media to just block out the noise and just kind of hold me over and hold out the tide. But there was one portion in my life where I was just so just rock bottom emotionally, just terrible. Um and I decided to like listen to Rooster Teeth podcast from the beginning, right? There were over 240 episodes at the time. These are all like an hour, 3 hours long. So in
Yeah.
between that,
They
so
really went off.
they did. And in fact, I remember the first episode they didn't even actually record it.
Yep.
Because like they had been again, podcasting wasn't really like a big thing. Only like 2 or 3 people did it. So they were like he said, one of the innovators in podcasting. Um, but I like listened to that while I was going through a lot of stuff emotionally, and I vividly remember one of the worst moments of my life. Uh, Voices telling me to do bad things, and
Yeah.
I was like crying to my friend, and I honestly she didn't even say nothing. I just needed her to just be a voice on the phone to
I feel that.
just be
Yep.
there. Um, and I was gonna do a bad thing. I decided not to. I called my friend. I just sobbed to her. She was like, "Yeah, I really appreciate her for this day, just being a person that was just there." Uh, and I didn't know what to do because I needed a coping mechanism, and the coping mechanisms that I had were very self destructive. And I didn't know where to go. So I developed a routine. It was just like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't face anybody in the world.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I've been there,
3
so I know where you're going. Yep.
Yeah, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I would like go on campus because especially too like I'm a bubbly, fun person. Like a lot of people like knew me, and especially to like my friends. Like we used to hang out right like before the gates of my college, so like we used to run into everybody. So I knew a lot of people. I was so entrenched in shame that I just couldn't. Um, So I couldn't face anybody. I couldn't do all I could do was like exist at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Uh,
That's what it is
and
sometimes.
that's all I could do at the time. And I I need a healthy copanism, so I just ran. And I listened from I remember explicitly 3 o'clock in the morning. There was like a possum. We were like redoing our gym, so I couldn't really do a gym. I couldn't run real, so I had to go 3 o'clock in the morning across something called the Oval, which is like this big place where it was like a big yard.
Nah,
And
whenever it's got
uh,
a name, you know to stay out of there because there's always some shit that goes down, good and bad.
well, luckily we're all women's college, and luckily we're a gated community. Please get the fuck out of my property. Shout out to
Dude,
Versace. Uh,
hey, people get all uppity about like gated stuff. If I pay for the security of no man, no woman, no person in between is gonna harass me, that's what I'm paying for. I do not care. I
and
went to this
especially
place
for an
for a
all
reason.
women's college. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
especially for all women's college. Cause like I dated a girl who went to an all women's college, which is around the corner that didn't have that system, and I was like, girl, this doesn't feel safe. Uh, but like, it
I went
allowed
to
me the
trade school with mechanics and tradies. Like the amount of times they never bothered
it's
me
not found.
because it was like whatever. I looked a certain way, but I'm like, if we
Yeah.
weren't splitting a beer right now, I think I'd bust this bottle into your face because you are a disgusting human being.
When they think that you're the bro, so they tell you things, and you're like, you are not a great human being.
The shit you probably can speak on this too.
Yeah.
The shit I've heard, and even okay, in our industry, we do backdoor sometimes. We do have a little sidebar, but the stuff I've heard men say about women, but the stuff I've heard women say about other women and men,
Ugh.
I'm like, ooh, you're the problem.
Ugh.
It's not just men. It's women.
Pick
We're
me energy.
disgusting.
You know, pick me energy is very
Yeah. I'm not
disgusting and
trying to be
Lisa.
Pearl. I'm trying to be me.
Not Pearl.
Yeah, Johnny, who your
Wait.
podcast?
Oh,
Bitch.
that who would? What? You?
Everybody
Me?
like
Us? No.
you just have the same reaction Des has when she hears Johnny. She's just like, "Oh, this boy. Des gets so frustrated with Johnny.
I love Johnny so much. Me and Johnny have like a whole like hour or two Kiki session, ironically about not ironically, coincidentally, I don't know, about Rooster
You know,
Teeth. Because
he's
he's
in the
also a Rooster Teeth OG.
he's in the
But
city.
yeah. Hmm?
Johnny's in
Right now?
our city.
Right now? Oh God.
He was there
Don't
before you, but he's only come around a couple times. But he's in the city. We used
don't
to we
tell
used to
me that.
RP together all the time. He
Don't
was
tell
me
me
and
that.
him used to play Red Dead Online all the time. Me and him. He was my brother.
I feel like that would be so fun and so frustrating at the same time. I bet.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he would be off murdering people, and I'd be like,
Yes,
Look at
Johnny.
this plant." I think I have a clip of him kicking a dog too at the one of the cams, and I was like, "It's time for you to die, bitch." Okay.
Not Fido, okay? Not
Oh, and
and ESO.
ESO. We
Oh,
got drunk one time, and he was my grandpa in ESO, and we were just fucking with people.
fucking people. Oh,
It was
wait,
bad.
please.
We were
No.
we were tanked. Like both of us should not have been awake.
Both of us should not have been
I was like, Grandpa, I left Grandpa in Cyrodiil. We gotta go back to Cyrodiil. Oh my god, I can't find Grandpa.
uh, but yeah,
Menace.
you're hilarious,
Always.
Sophie. I love it. Um, yeah, and like at a time where I isolated myself so much, one of the worst things that I do when I'm depressed is I like isolate myself. I hate it, but I do it. Um,
You gotta
and
do it for your mental health.
I do, but I need people.
But if you
And
force yourself too early, it's not gonna work. You know that.
oh yeah, I know, but I needed voices in my head that weren't saying bad things or the things that I could do that was like too much, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so for a couple months, like they became the voices in my head, that helped me like dead ass live, like dead ass.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I'm not crying great. But like
Don't cry.
dead ass lived. I'm not trying to not cry, but I'm surprised because when I was thinking about it, I was crying. Um and uh like hearing from when they first started to at that point, which was like probably the mid 2015 or something, I think, something around that time. I genuinely like needed that. I needed like people who were just talking about bullshit and talking about old video game trailers. Like I remember when Jeff like reacted to Dead Island, and that's how I knew like Dead
Hmm.
Island was one of the fucking greatest fucking game trailers in existence. Or like,
It
you
is.
know,
Let's
period.
not get fuck around and find out that is one of
No.
the best video game trailers out there.
Game is mid as fuck, but that trailer was excellent, right?
Who do you
Broke
voodoo, bitch?
windows. I cannot stand you. I love you. I'm so glad that you like have this energy because I need it during this. Um, uh,
This show can be taxing. This show can be draining.
no,
So,
no, it can, and honestly, doing as many like online appearances as we do can be. Um,
girl,
but like I really needed something to ground me in reality and give me hope. Like, again, I did not think that this was ever viable. Like me being on camera talking to people about video games and there being a community, people behind it, and this, and then like I have another like person in you that is a total dork and also is like right there in the trenches and onlineness and like funniness and everything like that. Like I I I
be.
I I I did not imagine it could be a possibility. Uh, I was really lost at that time, whether it be because of my life or whether it be because of like career. Again, I was doing computer science. I was doing computer science, and honestly, my computer science program literally like led you to a whole bunch of bullshit. Like you're gonna work for Boeing, defense contractors, or you're Raytheon. You're gonna bomb kids internationally. You're gonna work for
Yo,
pharmaceutical companies, and you're gonna like destroy life. Like honestly, if it wasn't Microsoft, which Microsoft has its own history, but I was able to deal with it. I was in the Xbox sector. If it wasn't Microsoft and it wasn't GM, and only GM because even though GM is also some shit, like the people who were really like cool with me, I wasn't going to do that pathway because I feel like the other pathways were pushing me towards something I can't fundamentally like agree with. Right? I needed to create joy and spread joy. Um, I didn't feel like my pathway was right, and I saw no hope. And to have Rooster Teeth be there and like because they were helping people who were just in the space, just like 1, 2,000 views or whatever, like grow and to be a part of this community of people who are like doing game stuff, it gave me hope. It gave me I could see a future where I did this even though it was not realistic and it was stupid, and that let me hold on. It let me believe there was a future for me, even though I felt like there wasn't. Um, and, it quite literally saved my life. Like everybody said, "Oh, man, this saved my life because I watched it when I was bored." Like, no, nigga, I was about to go, and like having those voices here, it stayed me. And like I can't like looking at my life, what 10 years later, right? Because it was about 10 years ago. I was walking around that just running to make sure I had some type of dopamine that wasn't negative in my head and like I had somebody like that to do that and be here at level 1, it means a lot or to do things in esports and to do things all over that I do, it means a lot. Cause after G4, it didn't seem like a pathway. It didn't seem like
yeah,
this could exist. This did
true.
not happen. Like people would have their own like sections or whatever, but it wasn't a thing. And then Rooster Teeth being a thing added so much legitimacy to like the gaming media spaces where like just like in the way people talk about sports and there's a media zeitgeist around that, there is something in the gaming world. And for people like us who watched that so much and wanted to do it, but it was like question mark, how? Like, it was so nice to have people who were doing that, and it helped me hold on. I'm so glad I had that. I learned so much about, like, how much self-doubt can happen, but they were still able to build. I learned so much about, like, you have to lean on people, and that's something I sometimes struggle with, leaning
Oh
on
yeah,
people to
same.
help you.
Because
Um,
for us, it's not only the mental of asking for help. It's unless you are in this, you're not going to notice. If you're if you're a person of color, if you're Caribbean, you don't ask for help. You suffer.
you
Unfortunately,
suffer!
that
Yeah,
is our our whole thing is like I can see my dad going through some stuff sometimes, and I was like, "Do you want to go talk to somebody?" He's like, "I got it." It's it's
yeah,
it's just a it's not a pride thing. It's we've been taught since the beginning we have to rely on ourselves, and then we rely on
yeah.
ourselves, and we rely on the people around us, and they hurt us, so we further insulate ourselves. It's a long systemic thing that
Yeah, no,
Rooster
no,
Teeth
for
gave
real.
us a small fraction of peace from that because I
Yeah.
can tell you how many. I'm with you. How many periods did? What's up? Is that my boy Edward? Hi, baby boy,
Hey, Edward!
Edward. Um,
Edward!
how many periods did I have the same podcast playing over back to back to back of Rooster Teeth or the same video? Like they got me through. They got me together, just like you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't like those.
But, like, no, when you're Caribbean, like, I remember, like, and it was around the time that I started, like, I wanted to listen to their podcast from the beginning, when I first got diagnosed with ADHD and depression, and I remember when I was first being diagnosed, I had to do that myself because, like, my sister and my mom were like, "Man, you just doing too much in your life," and to be fair, I was doing too much, but at the same time, I was a warrior, I could do it, I'm Andrea, I'm a war I got it! Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but,
Mm-hmm. How'd
which
that
is
work
why I'm
out?
burnt out right now. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm burnt out right now. Shut the fuck
That's same. Same.
up. But, like, I was doing that, and I was getting, like, diagnosed, and it's just like, well, you just need to, like, suck it up and go. Or, like, so much my mom has gone through that she hasn't even told me when she went to, like, this country, which is crazy. Good thing he didn't
They
take
never
that
talk about that.
much. No, no,
I just
no.
saw what Johnny said too. That's why I was shocked. Like I had to stop what I was doing. It's like this motherfucker.
No, Boeing was a firm recruiter in my college, and honestly, it was
Same.
shit like
Yeah.
that where it's just like, uh, bro, no. Anyway, but like strength is taught so much, but strength is actually a detriment because you need to lean and you need to support on somebody. And like they were my somebodies that lived in my head invisibly, and they'll never know how much they meant to me in order to
No,
make sure that I'm
I
still
hope they
here.
do. I hope they do.
I hope
I
so.
do hope I meet Barbara Dunkelman one day and say, look, bitch, you before you really there was nobody in Canada
Baron.
that was in the gaming sphere. So the fact that
Ah,
you did it and you continue to do it and you prove that
yeah.
Canadians we have a lot to offer because a lot of people still don't take Canada seriously. Thank you. Like you've proved that as a Canadian in your early 20s you can go and make a life for yourself in the unknown in Austin, Texas. And we know
Yeah.
Texas is
Yeah. Eh,
I love Texas.
eh.
I've always wanted to go to Austin. I looked at schools in Austin. I would love to go, meet with Fame in Dallas and everybody one day, but like as a woman in Texas in the early 2000s,
Mm, 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 mm,
we think it's bad
mm.
now.
Ooh-wee. And that
Now
was
it's bad, but now it's bad for different reasons.
no,
Now it's just they
that
forget
was
we're humans.
that's prime internet culture too because all these people who are like I'm not surprised like Doja Cat is the way that she is because she seems like
No.
a terminally online individual and honestly the way that the internet talks about like women black women in particular or black people in general were just terrible. So if you're black, you're a woman. Self-hating it to fit in, it makes total sense why that would happen because
Mhm,
there was a lot of hating around there when it comes to those
mhm.
places. But yeah, Rooster Teeth. I'm surprised I didn't cry. Thank God. Rooster Teeth said, I mean, I'm not trying not to cry. Crying is
Yep.
very healthy, guys. Please
It
cry.
is very
It's so
healthy.
healthy. It's great.
I cry
Um,
at least once a day
but
now because sometimes I've got no, I got 30 years of unrepressed or repressed shit. I need to cry sometimes. And it's not bad cry. Sometimes it's just like,
oh,
damn, that was
a
so good.
release.
I need to cry.
Yeah. No, honestly, like those before period cries where you're like looking at one thing and it's just like, why the fuck is this making me cry? But it does. Yes.
I was so high last night that I was like, "Oh, I grabbed my little Kleenex because I am a 90-year-old man who uses a reusable tissue. I slipped it under my
Reusable.
glasses. I looked up Hayden Christensen being applauded for his returning to the Kenobi series. Bald when people are like 5 minutes straight just giving him standing ovation, and he's like, "You know how to make a guy feel special." And I was like, "Yes, yes, Hayden Christensen, you are special. I know people ripped on you for years, but you were the greatest Darth Vader, Anakin, no, Luke, Anakin we could have ever wanted."
Which
Yeah,
which
I like to
which is
cry.
why it's so funny. It's so funny when people are like intimidating, blah blah. Which you do have intimidation in you, but like for me, I feel like you're like a fluff ball of like you're not a fluff ball, but yeah, a little bit of a fluff ball of like and like just like uh energy and just need to be like hugged and loved. You're a floor hugger for a reason because you need hugs. Damn it.
The people you meet that are usually the meanest out of the gate are usually the people you want to get to know because they're going to be
Mhm,
assholes to you until you get to know them. And then once you get to know them, they will die for you. And I'm very much that
mhm,
way. I'm a bitch to
mhm.
anybody else I don't know. But if you're a part of my people, yeah.
I know if I'm ever in
But
the situation in the world, you're gonna be like, "Ugh," and it's just like I need to have a hugger, and I do the same.
oh,
But
I've realized that with my ADHD, confrontation is my dopamine. So I have to find something else to fix that real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to be fighting everybody. So I need to, I need to chill. Like, oh, that's my dopamine. Oh, okay. Yeah.
for as many for Lord help the world if hugger ever gets like the gains because she'll like
Girl,
destroy planet.
either I lean into the hot girl mask thing or I lean into my femme era. Wait, wait, wait. I'm going to eat all these hoes up. But
I mean, you're already eating all the hoes up. I am one of the hoes. You're eating me up. Come on
I'll eat
now, please.
snack. Like a true PC gamer, I'll be eating. But you know, we've been for the last hour, we've been praising Rooster Teeth, but we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, where was the point you fell off? Because
Yeah, good transition.
that I think I know where we most of us fell off, but I got to know where you fell off.
Okay. So again, this has been such like a staple for me in the internet. I remember I used to watch like they used to do like Halo, like
Yep.
create a something or whatever. Like all the people in the community used to make Forge maps, right? So I used to watch that like every
Yeah.
week. I watched like Achievement Hunter. Like when I tell you I'm in this, I was in this shit, right? I wasn't a Ruby fan, to be honest. I just couldn't the
No,
animation.
it
Um
was janky in the first few seasons. You're not wrong. I gotta pee. Here we
yeah.
go.
I what I love so much about I love you so much. Like, you listen to a podcast hosted by a dork and a nerd. I hope you guys know that. She's a dork though. I cry planets when I cry when we lose planets on Helldivers, which happens pretty frequently these days, especially when you're playing with Baron. Um but yeah, uh, as someone who's, like, been there from, like, one of the beginnings, right, to see its growth and to see it, like I remember when they went to the first couple packs not first couple paxes. Well, actually, one of the first couple paxes, because I remember Penny Arcade Expo was if I remember Penny Arcade was just a comic, and then they ended up being, like, their own situation. And so they're building, they're going to PAX, they're going to South by Southwest. This is something that meant something so much to me. I watched it all the time. And I'll probably go back over this when Tucker comes, but probably the first blow was when Ray left. When Ray left, it really sucked because I really enjoyed the Minecraft series. I could tell that Ray was getting frustrated when Ray did his own thing during the Minecraft series a lot of different times. Um, and here is nobody. Here is nobody but the extraordinaire queen herself. Floor
Hey,
hugger.
sometimes when you really just gotta pee, you just like, I'm gonna piss myself or I can pee. What do you want?
Uh, and as soon as you drink, then your bladder is literally like this small.
And I'm 5'2", so I don't have much space to like really put anything.
At least you admit you're short. Cute.
You know what? Lady Gaga and Beyonce are both for like under 5'4", so
Wait, is Beyonce short too? I
Beyonce's
didn't know that
tiny.
Beyonce was short. I
Beyonce's
knew
like
that
5'3".
Lady Gaga was. Oh wow, really? I'm taller than Beyonce. Oh,
Scarlett
crazy. Oh,
Johansson is like 5'3". Most of the female celebrities are very short, but you see them in
no.
heels and shit all the time. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
I saw Sydney Sweeney is like 5'5" or 5'6", and I was like, oh,
TikTok.
we're right here.
She's a
We're right
TikTok.
here. We're right here. We're right here. And I love the fact I'm only calling you short because everybody else in my life calls me short. Literally everybody in my family taller. So I like getting when I get in.
I short.
And tease you.
I short. What can I say? I short.
Little munchkin, but she's a cute munchkin. But yeah, it was around the time like Ray left that I started to like feel like, oh man, this kind of sucks, but I was still in it. Um, and I still was watching. I, I it was around the time the podcast was talking about Breaking Bad, but it was like, you know
Mm.
what? It was like, oh, when they introduced like, I think Jeremy into Achievement Hunter and, like, all these other people in the Funhouse crew. It was probably, like, 2 or 3 years before the Funhouse crew actually was affiliated with the Rooster Teeth that I fell off, and part of it, the reason why like, I fell off in gaming media a lot in college, but, like, again, I was in college when, like, I needed them to be a voice in my head. Um,
Mhm.
but there was a certain time where I just didn't after like a couple years after Ray or like a year after Ray, I just didn't feel like it was the same anymore. The jokes weren't as poppin'. And so I fell off then. It was around the time like Ruby was entering like his third, fourth season or something on like that.
That's when I stopped
And
watching.
yeah, I stopped watching Red versus Blue as soon as like the 100th episode. What's it? The character Griff played. I don't know. Griff is hot as hell. Uh, but
I'm trying to
Griff
remember who
played
Griff's voice was.
the gray character. I remember the gray suit. I forget what
Girl, I'm googling it. I can't
her name
remember.
was. Um, but and shout out to Griff, really hot. I'm so sorry. Uh, and also just an energy, just like really fun, really cool. She was honestly a staple of like the podcast in terms of like just interesting shit that she had. But it was around that time that I just stopped because they weren't hitting when you talked about the fact that they did so many different things. Like you talk about this thing that you have up right here where it's like camp and Red
Yeah.
versus Blue complete and Ruby complete. Restoration. Yeah, restoration. I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's when they start to actually put the
That's
animation into
yeah,
it.
they went through
Yeah.
and scrubbed everything. So complete, I think, is just the
Yeah.
complete series. Restoration is full remaster, full new animations, everything.
Hmm. Oh, from the beginning, right? Like, why are
I
we
think
here?
so,
I
yeah.
think was the opening line of the first episode
Just
of
to
Red versus
suffer.
Blue. Very iconic. Just to suffer. No to make
Yeah,
dick jokes and wolfie jokes. Come on now. But yeah.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
But that was around that time. What about you? When did you fall off?
The Ryan and Adam Kovac thing, 2020.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I said, I was more of an achievement hunter person, so
Mhm.
Ryan was in everything. At first, I wasn't like a super fan of him because he did give me like he, in my mind, I was like 15 and 16. I was like, you're too old to be here because he was in his 25 or something when he joined. And I was like, you're too old to be
Mhm.
here, but whatever. Like, that was just
Yeah.
my brain. And as I got older, but it's like, there's
Yeah.
always something that
There's a vibe.
you
There's a
know me.
vibe, man.
I'll
There's a vibe.
exactly. I'll say sexual things, but like, it's from a place of love or it's
Mhm.
like, hey, let's go down to Pound Town. I'm gonna say it with jokes or whatever. I'm not never gonna infer and I'm never gonna take it further. But when he
Mm-mm.
like after the allegations came out and I had just finished watching their last Minecraft thing, which was where it was I think it was Skycraft or something, and they just nuked
Yeah.
the whole world. And it was the Mad King Ryan
Yeah.
series. I was like, no. And then
Oh
Adam
yeah, the
Kovac,
Mac and Ryan series. Yeah.
I knew Adam Kovac from watching him on was he Funhouse first and then Rooster Teeth?
He was Funhouse. He was Funhouse, but wasn't he like Machinima too, or am I tripping? I
He
feel like
probably
he was
was.
around a lot longer, but like
He
he was
probably was.
Funhouse. I remember that.
And then he did their news show. I stopped watching the news show because I just after Bernie's wife there, Ashley left. I was like,
Yeah.
nah. And
Yeah.
I've known Ashley for a
Ashley.
long
Yeah.
time. It was back. I've
Yeah.
known Ashley since she was in the Ubisoft Frag Doll, like their esports team, which was
Oh, you followed Ashley that long. I honestly, my first time knowing Ashley was when she was dating Bernie, to be honest, and when she was talking about like putting dildos in Skyrim. Like, yeah.
I knew Ashley through Melanie Mack, who is my favorite Lara Croft streamer. She does have some takes that I don't agree with, but that's with everybody, and that's why I like her because we can differentiate but still come to a mutual understanding. But they were on the Ubisoft's all women's esports team, Frag Dolls, which lasted maybe like 2 years, if that.
Yeah, 2 days, honestly.
Yeah,
Fragles did not last long.
but I know you from there. But after like the Adam Kovac stuff, everything that Ryan said had like a different connotation
Oh, oh,
after that. Especially when it's
oh.
like stuff about his wife and stuff about fans. And I was just like, once Jack Patillo said, and Jack Patillo is if you guys ever get the chance to meet Jack
Jack is
or
the
watch his
guy,
streams,
man. That's who I want to meet. That's Jack, bro. And I want to talk
I
about sports with Jack, bro, because he's also a UT fan. Like, he's very into sports. Like, I love Jack, man.
he
Jack is my guy.
he's a fucking sweetheart. And he said
Yeah,
I had to sit next to that monster. And knowing Jack and
yeah.
he doesn't talk like that, when he said that, I was like, oh, this is done.
It's
Like this is
real.
done.
It's real. It's
Yeah.
real.
Like we've all been through circumstances where we find out the true colors of somebody, but
Mm,
it's never
yeah,
been public like this is.
yeah, yeah.
But I think I
Um,
fell off after that because I stopped watching like Camp. I stopped watching Ruby in season 4 because I was not one of those people that say, oh, this isn't what Monty would have wanted because I know he wrote up to 10 seasons. I know what exactly he wanted the story to be.
he planned out a lot.
I
Yeah.
just didn't agree with it just felt a little queer baity, and I was like, that was also at the same time like the
Mhm.
300 or the 100 with Lexa dying. There was like a big queer
Uh,
bait stuff going on, so I was like, no, I'm
was
good.
it? Was it queer bait? I know that. Like, I knew there was like a gay, and usually for all gay media, I'm
Yeah,
like totally full blitz on
Yang and
and everything,
Blake.
but I wasn't into it. Yeah.
Everybody wanted Yang and Blake together, and Ruby and Weiss, and they're just
Yeah.
like, "Nah." And I honestly don't know
Mm.
What it is now. Can't tell you if they're together
Oh,
after
wow.
that.
Ah, that sucks. The CW method, man. The CW method of excellence, which is like, oh, you see these characters who are acting gay? No, they're not. They're not at all.
Mm.
This is why, although you should watch it. I love Nana. Nana is a good like anime, but like honestly, like Nana and Hashi, I relate to Hachi so much, but oh my god. Ugh. Anyway, Queer Betty for sure. But and all these shows that you're showing right now, right?
Like
Uh,
I'm trying to pull it down so I can load
oh,
all of them so we can go through
what's
some of
his
them.
name? What's the wait? Go scroll up, scroll just one.
Hold
Scroll
on,
up.
I'm still loading all the shows. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
We are
What's
not
his
even
name?
close to the bottom. I'm not gonna bring
Blake?
it back now.
What's his name?
Oh, Blake,
Blake?
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that was exactly around the time that I stopped watching. Not to say like Blake wasn't like what's so funny is that Blake and Hassan became a thing at the same time. And this was before Hassan was a streamer. This is when Hassan was still working
Yeah.
on his like dad's situation. Not his dad, his uncle's situation. But like it was just like for me, it was like it's the new internet thing to just put an attractive buff dude in
Can I say
things and just
something
like exploit him,
without
I guess. Sure.
controversy?
Absolutely go for it. Do it with controversy. I don't care.
I've I do like a lot of Rooster Teeth staff, but a lot of them are us, which is former nerds that either got hot or got a lot of money and don't know how to act. Blake was a former fat kid that got really hot that didn't know how
Really
to
hot.
act. Like
Not at all.
he was gorgeous
Yes.
and didn't know how to act.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
there was a lot of Rooster Teeth staff that got money, that got maybe alleged work or something, and it switched them up personality wise. Because you can switch your face. I do not care. Cardi B switched her face. Her music is still good, in my opinion. Don't care. But it's the personality that switched. It's like you forgot how you made other people, how other people made you feel. So you make those other people feel like that. And Blake definitely felt like one of those guys to me. He got so hot, but he was such a dick at some points. And I'm like,
Dude. And you know what? That's why I respected Rooster Teeth a lot because there was a perception besides like Joel, right? Because Joel, you ended
Joel's
up
always been his own
realizing,
shit.
oh my god,
You just
like
let
you
Joel do what
realize
Joel does.
you know Joel's history, and it's like if you listen to the podcast, it's like, oh, this guy seems like a cool guy, and then you know his history, and you look at his likes on Twitter, and then it's just like, oh, Joel.
Yeah.
Mhm. But like one thing I always respected, I don't know necessarily, I wouldn't say to an extent with Bernie, but I feel like with Gus and I feel like with Jeff, they still kept an aura of authenticity and just like I don't give a fuckness that like
Hmm.
made me like really appreciate them and really like cling on to the product that they had because like of course like people have changed a lot, right? Like Michael, I can see Michael's face right here. Like Michael had his
Michael does the
skinny
OnlyFans.
era, he does nerd era. He does OnlyFans? Really?
It's not explicit content. Like he's hot now. He's got his fucking
Yeah.
abs and all that, but like
Yeah.
they do OnlyFans. Him and
So does
Lindsay. Or
Griffin.
I don't know if Lindsay
So
does, but yeah.
so does Griffin. I found out about Griffin like a day or two ago, and I was like, oh my god, shout out to Griffin. Uh,
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know if she's explicit, but I would love to see. She might be another like I didn't realize was queer awakening because like she's always been like, man, Griffin is hot. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, but uh Michael like changed like 5 different times, right? He had the skinny glasses arc when he first started, and then he had like a like, you know, just normal guy, and then he had like a swole arc, and then he had like a
Hmm.
I'm just a dad bod arc, and now I feel like he had like a blonde arc sometime too. I didn't even notice that
Yeah,
he did have like
weirdly.
a blonde arc. Uh but like people have changed so much, right? Because of this. And that happens in life in general. People change. Uh,
Hmm.
and I feel like too many people like hold people to like a different like, man, it used to
Yes.
be
Oh,
this and it
100%.
used to be that. Like people do change, and changing is a healthy part of being a human. It's the way in which like there's a difference between your person changing or your morals changing, right? You growing as an
Yep.
individual or just changing as an individual versus like you like being a different morally decrepit individual. And like if you realize with like Ryan, there was a lot of just like and you didn't even realize it at the time because it's just like again I'm younger, like I'm just going along with the fun,
I
he's
think
just
we
ha
did.
ha jokes, and then
I think
but you
we
excuse it or you just like this is
I
weird but
think
it's
we did.
okay, yeah, you know.
I think from the beginning there was like a hey, this guy. And if you look, there was from the beginning, there was like, this guy's a little weird. I don't, but people were like, oh, you're a hater, whatever that. And then it's
Yeah,
like 15-year-old conversations are coming. I was like, oh, no, they were not wrong. This guy was
no,
weird straight from the beginning.
I didn't like him until, like, the GTA or Minecraft
Mhm,
series,
mhm,
and
mhm.
I was like, "Okay, well, I guess, like, he's fine now, I guess," and I was like, "No, he's not fine, he's
Yeah, it's
awful,"
like, "Well,
but,
you're not
like
getting rid of him. Fuck, okay."
right, right, but, like, all of this, like, kinda falls into his downfall, and you know what? I feel like what hurts the most, it's like you talked about how it's an inclusive space for, like, persons of color. It was not. Initially, it
No,
was not. It was not at all. Like,
it
if
still
you look
isn't.
at, like no, if you look at their history, like, even as soon as, like, 2016, I think after 2016, they started to bring in more, like, persons of color.
I think
But,
Mika
like
probably put a spotlight on Rooster Teeth. Like, let's be
mhm,
honest, I'm not Mika Burton. I have different issues with her because I've heard too many behind the scenes things about her to be like comfortable with her as a person in general.
mhm,
But that could be just like you're meeting at industry things. Nobody's on their A game. I'm not going to judge her on that.
yeah, mhm,
But they did her dirty, man. The way she
mhm,
left, she was on Ashley's show. The way that she left Rooster Teeth, it was always said is for better opportunities in Hollywood. Haven't seen her in
no,
anything in Hollywood. Anyway,
no,
um,
mm.
I think yeah, they did her dirty. I don't. I hope
She
Mika's thriving.
and the thing is too, I feel like I have to be careful how I say this.
No,
Um,
we're about to
some
not for anything's sake, guys. We're just gonna monitor ourselves a little bit here because we do
no,
work in this industry.
no, and it's not even like necessarily that. It's like so it doesn't come off as like too like harsh or too like I want to like keep it for what it is because like as people who are POCs, we're black in the community, right? And we know how there can sometimes be a different like barrier of what's acceptable, barrier of like how people accept you. And there's
hmm
a barrier of like how people view you, whether
hmm
it's reality or not, right?
Yep.
And so people look at individuals as like because we haven't had this, we're gonna do this. And it's like, no, right? Because people exist and they deserve to have this platform, right? And so
Yep.
outside fans look at it as that. And I feel like they always like treated her as an other. And I hate that
Oh
because
yeah.
like she did not deserve to go through that. And the fan base literally treated her as like it's the same thing like it was happening like with Boeing and then, like the reason why Boeing is awful is because they murking people and because they're using substandard parts, not because they also have now and like been better with black people. Like no, it's because of years of not having good quality and then doing that, but because outside people they look at it and they're like, like I feel like that's the way
hmm
out. Like Mika was like viewed, and I hate that for her because she did not deserve that because she was a
No.
funny person in her own right and deserved that love. And I think that Rooster Teeth had a really huge problem. They were so freaking white. They were so freaking white. Like it was like crazy white. And they needed an ejection thing. And unfortunately, she fell on the sword. And I hate
Yeah.
the fact that the company ended up going through its downfall while they coincidentally had so many like finally having POC creators. Like there's like people like Fiona Nova who are like I feel like are
Yeah.
great creators. And because like and I don't feel like that people do it like with Mika as they do with like Fiona or all the newer POC class. Like they didn't have that as much shit as
No.
like Mika did.
Because Fiona was a lot
Um
meaner too. Let's be honest. Mika was
yeah.
and this was also at the time. It's like you don't bite back at the trolls. Fiona will be
Mm-mm.
like, "Fuck you and your whole family," and that's
Yeah,
what I
you
love
know?
Fiona about.
Ooh,
Some of her takes
man.
on G4 about,
Ooh,
but like
yeah. I love her
Fiona,
energy,
yeah,
man.
she
Oof.
Mika was very much. I am in this space. I am making a name, and the fact that they kind of relegated her to small stuff aside from that, but Mika was the first, unfortunately, and we've been in the spaces where you have to be the token black person that opens the door for people,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
And it's never going to work out for you. You're going to be the villain in everything, but at least that door is open. And
They,
unfortunately, Mika's going to be the Hayden Christensen. In 20 years, we're going to be like, you opened doors, you did things for us,
yeah.
but it's not, we don't care now. We don't.
No, no, because like we've been through. I feel like even like past 2020, this was like a very big thing where like companies were like DEI, but it was very disingenuous. So it was just like let's push black person, and like it was not like a real integration. It was just like you're here, and then there's us, and there was no real like trying to like pull, and that happened to Mika. Uh, mm,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
uh I there were a lot of issues culturally that I feel like ended up being a part of, and we could talk a little bit about like what we've learned from Rooster Teeth, right? Because like uh for as much as we've learned as like a cultural zeitgeist, for them being a cultural zeitgeist, like how much they've built their platform, right? How they've integrated community and how much they've done that. There were a lot of things that they probably like could not do or did not do. They grew too fast. They looked at too many different things. Maybe they did too much all at the same time, right? They didn't stick true to themselves. They didn't integrate a culture that was very inclusive and all these different things that I feel like were lessons we can learn from Rooster Teeth, because you're showing me all these different fucking things. I have never seen half of this fucking. What is this whole page? What is this?
Yeah, they had a lot of review shows, Overwatch songs, Face Jam, Death Battle. Yeah, there
What?
was a lot of stuff. And this
Oh,
isn't even
any
all
of
of
this?
them. I haven't gotten to the
Rooster Teeth
bottom of this.
shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth shorts, Gen Locks. I don't know if I know Control A. I don't think I do, but like half of this shit,
Oh, the
like
AHW, that's when they got into wrestling for a very small time. That was the
they
Achievement
were
Hunter wrestling
wrestling.
stuff.
They were in
It was
wrestling.
it
What?
was the video game, the wrestling
Oh,
games.
okay. I
Cuz
remember they were trying to get into games.
for they did make a couple games actually.
Yeah,
Let's go to
some
their
flash games,
wiki.
right?
No, they made full-fledged games.
First of all, shout out,
Um,
they made a whole like uh method in Halo Griff Ball, which is like, probably one of their first games, I guess
the
you could say.
reason why games companies interact with us the way they do is because of Rooster Teeth, because they were
Mhm.
making machinimas, which if you look at early Halo, did not have the tools to make machinimas, but they were still doing
Mm-mm.
it. So they
Great.
started the trend. Halo and Microsoft said, "Hey, why don't we make more adaptive camera angles in our games?" And they ran with that. Rooster Teeth is the way we interact with companies today. When companies send us game codes to review, we can credit not just Rooster Teeth, a lot of stuff, but we can credit Rooster Teeth for doing that. Because these were just 5 people out of UT Austin that just wanted to have fun, who didn't want to be stuck in the corporate grind forever,
Yeah,
and
that's the
they
thing.
did it.
They were friends, like, and it wasn't like straight out of college. Like they were still like they were like grown as adult. Like I think like Bernie had been in the company. Yeah, he was over for like 12 years before he actually like went off and decided to do like
Hmm.
Rooster Teeth as his own thing. Like they just they wanted, hey, this would be fun to like make like this film. And I think Joel was the only one who actually had like acting experience, to be honest. The rest of them, they were just like I think Bernie had some filmmaking as well
Yeah,
as well.
I
And
think
Jack does have a filmmaking background, but he wasn't there at the time. I don't think he was definitely
no,
not there at the time.
it was
Um
Bernie, Gus, Joel, and Jeff,
Jeff, yeah.
and then
And
Barbara came
Brandon
on later.
and
No,
Brandon,
I
right?
think Barbara came on first, and then Brandon after that. And then
There
Gavin, like
was
Gavin, Barbara, they all came very close at the same time.
there was somebody else, but there was a fifth person, because there was somebody who was not on camera as much, but they were
Go back
still
up to the
like
top.
super important. Matt. There you go, Matt. There
2003,
you go, Matt. There you go.
and Jason.
Matt was not on it as much. I don't remember who the fuck. Who the fuck is
I don't know who
Jason?
Jason. He probably sold
Who's
off very early because he doesn't have a page.
yeah. No. Who the fuck is Jason? Never heard of him. But Matt wasn't on camera as much, but Matt was like definitely behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
a
People
huge
did
part of
not
it with
like
Bernie.
they did not like when he stepped up after Bernie left.
Matt was always less personable. Bernie had the benefit of the doubt because he was a on camera funny guy, you know.
Yeah.
It was just hard to see. You have to have that personality, which is why people fucking hate Elon Musk. Outside the fact that he is also a terrible person, but because he is also like a terrible person to be around.
I mean, you're gonna be transphobic to your own kid? Wow. Okay. Whatever.
I hate him.
Elon Musk is, But Rooster Teeth
Sca-
did make games. They made Rooster Teeth versus Zombies. They made Grim Eclipse, which if you've played the Korra game that came out at the same time, they're kind of like right there. They're solid, but whatever. And Vicious Circle, which I did
yeah.
do a review, like a retrospective on. Yeah, that game crushed and burned. And they never made any other like video game. No, they
It
did.
looked
Nope,
cool
nope,
though.
they did.
That looked good.
They made mobile
They did?
games. They made a shit ton of mobile games. I forgot.
Really?
Yep. Like a lot
Didn't
for
they have
Ruby.
a Ruby one? Okay. Didn't they have like a Rooster Teeth short one too? Or am I tripping? Like a beat 'em up? Or am I tripping? I'm probably
I
tripping
wouldn't
on
be
that.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they did
Okay.
that.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay. I remember the
I'd
first when they
100%
were
say.
talking about video games. Yeah.
Yeah. I 100% say that most people, it was the Ryan and Adam thing because Ryan was so prevalent.
Yikes.
And I applaud them for doing what they did because they removed videos. They took them off of everything. Like
yeah.
they removed over 10 million views worth of videos that had him in. Some of the
Yeah,
older
and
stuff
for
you
the
can, but like
yeah. Yeah, like the GTA and Minecraft ones, he was such a big
Mhm,
part of that, right? Like it's easier
mhm.
to remove Ray, especially towards the end, because Ray didn't give a fuck towards the end.
Yeah.
But like he was just in a corner doing his own thing. It's like Ray, what's going on? um, but Ryan had become such a big part of that too. And for all of you guys who don't know, Ryan was one of the people who was working at Rooster Teeth, who was hired later on into the Achievement Hunter. I guess not later on, early on, I should say, in the Achievement Hunter. It was later on from where I started. But he ended up having several allegations about him texting minors, not even allegations, for on confirmations of him
Yeah, it
texting
wasn't
minors, having
allegations.
relations and all of that. It was full on confirmations.
Yeah.
He was not a good person. And that definitely, and also Alex from Funhouse was caught cheating on their significant other as well. So that all
Yep.
happened at the same time, and was a big point of controversy. Honestly, I feel like there's been a little bit of controversy with them. I think they had a union thing that happened with them or something like that, but for the most part, they
Yeah.
didn't meet a lot of controversy internally, I should say, until then. And it became kind of a snowball in reaction to how people dealt with them and
I'll
viewed
say
them.
they were very tight-lipped on things because I'm looking at this. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first controversy listed is 2019 with the Vic Mignogna when people accused him of being weird.
Mhm.
He, if you guys don't know, he was a voice
No.
act. I think he was Uncle Crow in Ruby, but he's been like Vic Mignogna. He's a decorated voice actor, and people.
Mm.
I don't know if it was ever like falsely accused, whatever, him being weird, and that was the first time you like, oh, things happened. But there was before that because Mika left in 2018, and there was
Oh,
before that there
okay,
was a
Mika,
lot of
yeah.
stuff
Mhm.
like
Yes, I will say controversial. Not meaning like as soon as I said controversial thing, I was thinking in the back of my head. Besides the fact that they didn't give a fuck about persons of color, like
but
or
that's
the
not
fact that like
controversy in America.
Joel, yeah, right, or like Joel was a Republican. Like there's like so many other like different things. I think there was like a I mean, like, I don't feel like people's like relationship things because I know not Joel, Jeff and Griffin did part during that time. That's not like controversy for me. But there's something else I'm missing too.
Johnny says he fell off right after they started doing the heist. Yeah, the heists were weird. He just got bored of it, and then Joe was,
They kept on
or
doing it.
he was a bad guy, but at least Edgar was finally freed. Yeah,
Mm.
like Rooster Teeth is complex, and we can't get into it all tonight because I feel like this is a a, a, a vastly, I mean, 22 years of history. There's so much to go through.
Yeah.
There's so much angles to say where this fell off because I'm going with the allegations. That's when I started. Not allegations.
Yeah.
Ryan was a fucking creep. So yeah, that's where I fell off. But shit, Rooster Teeth, it fully does deserve a 16-hour like deep dive into it because we haven't talked about the movies, we haven't talked about the
No,
animes, we
stretch
haven't
that
talked
too much,
about
man.
we haven't talked about the like Achievement Hunter Funhouse. It
No.
has
Uh,
so much
the,
incorporated into it.
Yeah, the fact that Let's Play was not a thing. Well, Let's Play was
Mm-hmm.
a thing. It was like a small different thing, but Jeff actually, I remember Jeff talking about this on the podcast. Like he like preserved the first like YouTube channel that actually did Let's Play because Let's Play was not like a term. It was like a term, but not
Mm-hmm.
really. And now Let's Play has become like a colloquial term. Because
Mm-hmm.
of that, Achievement Hunter, as you said, video guides, like they were huge in that. Podcasting,
Yep.
like people don't talk about the fact that they were like one of the first like big video game podcasts, tech podcasts that were like a big staple. And machinima in itself, there's so many different ways. Merch selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Merchandise. They were such a big part of the early internet. You cannot talk about the early internet's history without talking about them. For as much as we talk about like early YouTube things like fucking Antoine Dobson,
Yeah.
hide your kids, hide your wife, and like Soldier Boys
Those are
crank that or
splashes.
whatever. Yeah, you know, Rooster Teeth was one of the like stable things to come of that, and uh they creep in so many different things. We would not be here. Literally, us too. This channel
Yep.
would not be here without them. Ah,
Mm-hmm. Rooster Teeth has I do think that this does not have to be a BuzzFeed situation where it's like, oh, why I love BuzzFeed. I think
yeah.
that Rooster
Or Bon
Teeth,
Appetit.
y- oh my god, that's one of those you had to be there because that was a
Oh my
time.
god,
Oh my god,
meltdown. Solar
understatement.
Vanguard, baby. Cholo all
Oh,
day. I love
love
her.
Solo. Um,
Mm.
I think Rooster Teeth is an institution. I don't think we even began to cover a fraction of it because
No.
there's just there's no way we can. But I want to say this at the end of the day. I do not, and I can probably speak for both of us on this. I do not revel that people are losing their jobs. They're firing, well, at least at the time of the news reports came out, at least 150 people in studio. So, however many contractors. So, at least, let's just say relatively 300 people that have any
Yeah.
association to do with Rooster Teeth. I do not revel that they have lost their jobs, their livelihoods. Um, I would hope the industry embraces these people, and because there's a bunch of new people that I haven't watched in the last like 2 years, so I hope the industry
Yeah.
embraces them. I hope that they don't have to do the music industry thing and turn to sex work or OnlyFans to
Yeah.
live. Um,
Yeah.
but Rooster Teeth, thank you for your time. Thank you for the privilege of getting to know you. I may not have agreed with your business decisions, but that is not my place to make. But 21 years in the media sphere when 6 months people fade out, thank you for doing what you do. And this was not this video or whatever video, if because we're probably going to cover this again. This is not made in malice,
Yeah.
not made in bad faith.
Mm-mm.
This is, you paved the way for us to be here. Thank you. Barbara Dunkelman, if you're ever listening, please, I would like to meet you. I want to shake your hand. Please. Please. I love you so much. I think you're so funny.
Shout out to Barber. Obviously, we're fans of Barber. We love you, Barber. Oh my gosh. And I love you, Barber. I love you, Griff. I love you, Jack. Those are like the top three that I'd like to meet. Definitely those three people. Um,
Barbara, Jack, and Fiona. I think I'd like to meet.
oh, I'm
I
not
love
gonna say what I
everybody, but
feel
like,
about Fiona. I'm not gonna feel what I say about Fiona.
oh, we know, we know, we know. But I feel like everybody's so much older now, and they're kind of like been hardened by social media that the interactions that I want to have with them is not the interactions we can
No,
have anymore.
they're
So
not
I
gonna
don't want
be
to
the
meet them.
same.
Don't meet your idols.
And
It's never gonna be the way you want it to be.
it's,
Trust
it's
me.
it's never gonna be like you want to be. They're gonna be so much more callous and not give a fuck about you. As someone who's met several people, it's like that's cool. No,
Hmm.
no, they're not. They're so not.
Yep.
The few people that you do, it's just like, oh wow, that's crazy. Uh, but
Damn. Okay. Shit in my salad. Okay.
no, it was only like it's not like genuine, but it's just like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you're like kinder on the surface than I thought, but it's probably not all the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
It's a oh, you have to be a nice in media. Okay, whatever. Pop off.
mhm. Yes, no, and you're excellently meeting right now.
Yeah.
Um, but I was looking at it. I was like, you survived longer than Tech TV and longer than G4 and G4 Tech TV combined. So that is again as somebody who like that they were literally the first gaming entertainment source, tech
Mhm.
entertainment source. Uh for you to exist after that, take the torch and carry it well for 21 years and create so many different subcultures in gaming. Um, whether
Yeah.
that be the cinema, merchandise, whether it be like freaking content creation. Um, there's so many different ways like that they've done it. Freaking gaming too, right? Filmmaking. Who would have thought that
Yeah.
a gaming medium of like some guys in a room would be able to like
Yeah.
make movies, right? And you give
Exactly.
inspirations. It's inspiration for all of us, right? Because
More than
like
inspiration. It
it's a
really is like a
goal. It's
hey,
you know?
you the weird it's definitely a bright side of the internet because it can be you can be a Mr. Anime where that's your legacy, but you can also be a Rooster Teeth. And I'd rather go out as a Rooster Teeth than a Mr. Anime. And if you guys don't know who Mr. Anime is, old school, like OG early YouTube reviewer that I think yeah, shot his family. So you can go that way or you can go Rooster Teeth way. So I'd rather
Yeah.
go that way.
9 times out of 10. 99.999999999 out of 10. I
Just
would
support these
prefer to
people.
go that way. Uh
That's
yeah.
all I can ask is just support these people. Like we
No.
whatever Barber is gonna do next, I'm gonna be there.
No,
Whatever
and
they do. Yeah.
there's been babies brought out of this, right? There's relationships, right? Bernie and Ashley. There's like Lindsay and
And Michael,
Michael's
they
like
got two
child,
kids,
like yeah,
which the
you know?
oldest should be going into middle school soon, which is
Oh
wild.
my, don't make me feel old, girl. That's crazy. Wow, that's
To make me feel old,
insane. That's crazy.
or if not middle school, at least elementary school soon. Like the oldest is at least 6 years old, minimum. And
Ooh,
that's me not having paid attention since 2020. So
damn, girl. Time keeps on slipping
been
into
slipping
future.
future.
Boo, boo, doo,
Ooh.
doo, doo. uh, and like again, I would not be here, but like there's a whole generation of people who would not be here without them and like have hope that they can turn this into something and make themselves out of fucking just talking on camera, which is where both of us started, just fucking talking on
Call of
camera and
Duty
doing
Black
their own
Ops.
shit. GTA 5 Balligate Tony, baby. I
You know how it be.
ugh, we 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 are walking in the footsteps of giants and can only hope but to attain uh half of their success and carry the torch well. Um as someone who needed it, that example for my life, but also for my career, uh I yeah, I cannot thank them enough for what they've done, and I am sad to see it go. But and you know what? It's funny. I was using Reddit when I found out. All right, I found out the same day where you're like, "Oh, this is how I found out." Right when I
Mhm.
said it.
You told me. I
Um,
was like, "Bitch, what?"
yeah, right. And I thought, man, and the thing is too, when I saw it, I was like, man, let me like tell this to Hugger, and then like my brain, I just like shoo, and I was like, okay, but like it was an hour before, I was like, I could say it like then. Um,
Brains.
I hate my brain.
They
I
named
be wanting to
themselves.
talk people so much. Chrysanthemum. It's not my name. Brain is not named Chrysanthemum, but what? uh,
Chrysanthemum. Damn, that's a big word.
and it's a bill word for Elma. I don't know why I just decided to do that one. Um,
Pop off.
but I'm just trying to get that Scrabble word count, babe. Um, I
Amen.
we are walking in the footsteps of giants. We all needed that, and for oh, damn, geez, what were we just talking about? Fuck, I forgot my place. Oh, we were talking about fuck. I'm gonna actually go back
Uh-huh.
in the footage to see, cause fuck, what was I saying?
We're just kind of like,
Fuck,
reminiscing on Rooster Teeth, wrapping it up, and
yeah. Oh,
you
wait,
don't
hold on.
remember what you
Okay,
were
I
saying
see
at
the
all,
part.
do
No,
you?
I see it. I'm like looking back at the footage to remember because I remember it.
But you know what? I could say something and somebody will
Yeah.
ask me to repeat, and I'll be like, I don't know what I just said. Like, if it leaves my mouth, don't remember.
Especially because I'm thinking taking dumb bitch juice. Uh yeah,
Yeah.
I was using Reddit, and like someone said that I found out the news on Reddit, and someone in a very Reddit way, because Reddit is so fucking insensitive. Uh
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna turn it into a positive because that's what I do, baby. Someone like I said, man, this hurts right in my childhood, right? Like Rooster Teeth clothing.
Yeah.
And it hurts my right in my childhood because, as I said, like I look on the back of like G4 and like all the micro influencers, what the fuck? I'm so sorry. HPaw and like AVG and all these different people, and then Rooster Teeth as well.
Mhm.
And all these different people who like uh are the reason why I'm here. Like it hurts to see like a staple of that, a pillar of that go, because like I needed this to live. So I hate the fact that like people who are younger can't have something like this for themselves to like see the future and to like model themselves after, to like see a pathway like I did, right? And like basically even though it wasn't sensitive because Reddit, like they were like you don't need to like idolize something, right? Like in order to get by or whatever. And I was like, well, actually I would not be here without it. So I don't know about that, but like I think the overall point is that, like, although it was there for me and G4 was there for me, and it hurts because I didn't have that. Because I had that and people growing up won't have that. That hopefully we can hope to be if not for just one or two people, that for somebody else, and to just like keep that energy going of just being there and being a rock in somebody's life and like helping them be. And that's the reason why I do this, why I've done any type of entertainment stuff. Yeah, because I know what it's like to not have around you. And so if I can provide like that safe space, even if it's somebody parasocial in their mind or whatever, to help that safe space and help people just be there, like that helps. I hope I could do that. And thank you so much, Rooster Teeth, for being that for me. And I hope that I can do that for like a fifth of a fifth of a fifth of a fifth of somebody else as they did that for me. And so I was trying not to cry, but it finally happened. And so
Cry?
thank you for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hmm,
Rooster Teeth also
I'm
taught me never to idolize people because
Oh
everybody
God,
sucks.
no.
Like
Everybody
Rooster
fucking everybody's flawed, bro. We're all
to
flawed.
be on
I'm
your
flawed
side,
as fuck.
I have idolized a lot of people, and to be on
Ugh.
Reddit side, you don't need to because if every
No.
generation goes through and looks at like, oh, I never had this. Yeah, bitch, none of us ever had that. We found it.
Oh.
Some of us it was the Magic School Bus, Carmen San Diego,
Yeah.
Fortnite, Call of Duty. We've all had that thing that has been we the teen generation is new. It was introduced in the 50s. Being a teen was never a thing like it is here in America.
You were just an adult, bro. As soon as he got puberty,
Yeah.
you're adult, kid adult. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
there was like a teen phase, but it wasn't like fetishized because being a teen is
yeah.
fetishized. That's all it is
Oh,
teen is
Breakfast Club, yeah.
newly turned teen or just
Yeah.
18. It's fetishized
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
We've never had something to look up to because our generation, let's be honest, we like to make it as it's the worst thing in the world. We had 9/11, all that. Okay, the generation
Yeah.
before us had Vietnam, World War II. It's all been bad through human
Mhm.
history. Everything sucks. But I'm glad that we, in this small part of our life, found something that gave us it. But I also am not going to give you Rooster Teeth any reprieve because I can guarantee you in the next coming year, 2, 3 years, we're going to see some news that comes out from former employees that makes us look at this whole company like corrupt from the top to the bottom. So that's why I'm
Oh,
like, I
no.
appreciate what you do, but I know what I know is not what's true. And I'm going to hate this company in like 5 years.
And
100%.
and and I think, like, that's, like, a nuance, right? Like, one of my favorite shows, especially when I'm, like, reeling, like, which people can debate whether or not it's very healthy. I think it is because it talks about dealing with depression, in my opinion, but I can understand why people feel like it revels in depression. BoJack Horseman, right? I like looking at that, but I'm, like,
But you got
not
to revel in it to
mentally together.
understand it. If you tip your toe in it, but don't take the time to live in it, you're never going to understand it. So you have to
You're never
revel
gonna
in
grow past it.
depression. Exactly.
I feel like there's a good, like, message of how to deal with things healthily versus how to deal with things destructively, and, like, Diane and several people or, like, Todd have dealt with it, like, healthily versus,
Hmm.
like, BoJack, who deals with it in the worst possible way, right?
Hmm.
Um, like, Diane, one of the characters of BoJack Horseman, she's like, "Oh, man," like, she looked at horsing around by BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman is not a good person, not a good person at all. But like she was in a shitty environment growing up, and she needed, like, even though it was completely fake, right?
Hmm.
Built on a house of cards, built on nothing, right? She
Hmm.
needed the healthy family dynamic presented by horsing around. The show that BoJack Horseman was in, even though he was a terrible person, she needed that fake portrayal of that in order to just get by, right?
Yep.
So many people, like, when they're not feeling good, like, just a little thing can help them, right?
The
Like, I was looking
status
at
quo.
somebody talk about, people who are having, like, suicide ideation and stuff like that. Sometimes, like, someone saying, "Hey, like, help me pick up the trash," can, like, stop people from doing
It's the smallest
whatever,
thing.
right?
You
It's the
just never know
smallest
what it's going to
thing.
be. Yep.
No, and I think, like, for people who say, like, it's not healthy to, like, the person on Reddit who was implying it's not healthy to, like, lean on entertainment to help you make it through. People look at anything to help them through because they don't wanna be there,
Yeah.
right? So they
If it's not
just need
video
that.
games, it could be a book.
Mhm.
You know what? It's healthier
Yes,
that it is an
absolutely.
external non-human source because if you put that all
Yes.
on one person
Oh,
to be
no.
your sounding board, damn.
Don't put it on a person. Putting on a person is one of the worst things that you can do, which is why
Yeah.
the unfortunate consequence of me, like, pulling away is because I don't wanna burden anybody else. Uh, you shouldn't do that. And talk to people. It's
Do not
great.
trauma dump on people either, please.
But don't trauma dump. Yes, there's a balance. Don't totally retract, but also don't trauma dump. There is a balance, god damn it.
You'll
Uh,
figure it out.
don't. Yeah, you'll figure it out. But, like, people are looking for anything, and for
Mhm.
that, like, for me, even if it were, like, and we can talk about this, like, there are complicated things in all of history, right? Like, I can think about the fact, like, people look at I Believe I Can Fly as something we the graduation song that people used to dance to, right?
Yep.
But, of course, R. Kelly's the worst individual to ever exist, one of the worst individuals to ever exist, right? Uh,
Mhm.
like, people can hold a value of an individual thing outside of a person because the individual meaning of that
You
separate
have
thing,
to.
like, holds to you. And so even if Rooster Teeth I'm sure it wasn't Sunny, the fact that they didn't have all these minority people means that they were probably doing fuckery, right? The fact that, like, it was a mainly boys camp means that they were
Girl,
probably doing fuckery when it talks to girls, right? Like,
the fact
all of that.
that it was established in 2003 and on the official Wikipedia, the first controversy is in 2019, lies. Liar.
Lies. Fucking
I've known shit that
lies.
happened in that company since
No.
before then. Liars.
No.
That's why I'm like, don't be surprised when when your image of this place gets torn down because shit is
No.
about to come out, especially after they went to Time Warner. Because a lot of people
Mhm.
left, and there was like if everybody remembers, what was her name? Kaden. Um, she was on Ashley's show, and
Yeah.
then she transitioned and was like did other stuff, but like
I'm not
came
sure.
out later and was like, I am very there's a very clear transphobic community within Rooster Teeth itself and like all this shit. Yeah, we're
Mm,
gonna hear
not surprised.
stories. Our
Not
reputations of
surprised.
this company is gonna be torn down because you do
Yeah,
not survive as a multi-million dollar company getting bought by Warner Brothers, even as shitty as they are. You don't survive for 20 years on the internet by being a wholesome good company. I love Rihanna. Rihanna
absolutely.
is a billionaire. Fuck her.
Oh,
She
fuck
is a
her. Oh,
billionaire.
right now people are defending Beyonce for taking, like, her second album is fucking country as hell, and she has a picture with the American flag. To me, the American flag is a hate symbol, and it's always been that. So, like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who feel a similar way, and they're like,
Hmm.
"Why the fuck are you posting in full on while we're, like, killing all these people all over the place?" Right? Uh,
We've had a conversation
it's
about Beyonce and how I feel about that.
Oh, man, or how her mob makes people go after people. That's why you shouldn't stan people. Like, stan culture, it's itself, like, real toxic. As somebody who, like, I jokingly engage in stan culture, like I say, "Oh, I'm a Lamar Jackson stan in football." I don't know anything about that nigga's life. That nigga's not a part of anything in it, like, at all. I just
Exactly.
like the fact he plays football, and that's it. I feel like it's
Hmm.
dangerous to say remove the art from the artist, but there is a level of removing the art from the artist that you kind of need to do because you do not fucking know these people. Honestly,
Yep.
you guys watch us. You don't fucking know us, bro. You don't know any of the shit that we've ever done. Like, who fucking know? Like, and don't idolize people. I'm somebody who kind of has a propensity, like, whether unknowingly or not, I try not to, but like it ends up being that way where I'm like, oh, they're a swell person. I don't fucking know
Because
anybody,
that's the
right?
way it's so easy to in today's media to do.
Yes, absolutely. Especially when people are vulnerable, it can make you feel like you know someone more than you do, and you fucking don't, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I think I'm a swell person, but please don't give me the benefit of the doubt. Please don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt, okay? Um, but I think for me, even if that were to happen, I would not expect that for happen I would not expect that for happen. I would not expect that to not be the case.
Hmm.
Uh removing all the art from all the individual artists, I can say I needed that medium to survive. And for that, I'm grateful. Outside of anything else, outside of the character that I did not know at the time and I had no information about at the time, I'm so glad for that. And I needed that.
Mhm.
And I have no shame in saying that I need that, because if I had shame in that, then I would not be here. Um, I ain't gonna be mad at anything I need to do to survive. Um,
Mhm.
so thank you for that. Thank you for the information. Again, I don't know these people from night and day. I am not t-
Mhm.
I'm not idolizing them as individuals, but for the work that they've done and they've shown, that is what I am appreciative of. And I hold close to in my heart, because I deal with not feeling like I'm worth it or not feeling like I can. And to see that example, it gives me strength. And
Yep.
this world is too harsh on me for all of my different my scrutinized intersections that I am. That's too hard on me in all of my individual intersections for me to not find power in things that I need to hold on to and to grasp that. So I'm thankful for that, Rooster Teeth, for that. Not praising Jeff is my Jesus, but like,
Yeah, I fucks with some
say
Jeff Ramsey. I love me some Jeff.
I love Jeff, bro. Of all the people,
That's my boy.
Jeff and Jack are like,
Yeah.
man, like they're my dad one, dad two. They're not really, but
Yep.
dad one, dad two. Uh,
If I ever met
but
him, I think I'd have to call Jeff dad. Be like, "Hey, dad."
I talked to Jack about like the Texans so much and about sports, and then video games, but yeah, I needed that, and I'm forever thankful for that. For whatever things that I am aware, I've tried applying to them. I mean, I noticed the fact that they didn't hire a whole bunch of minorities. Like, yeah, that hurt that part of me, but like the fact that they were existing helped me and made me exist. So I'm thankful for it.
I think this is gonna be my final point on them. I agree with you 100%. Like they are too influent. You know what? I feel like about them the way I feel about Katy Perry is, yeah, Katy Perry had a real fucked
Yeah.
up haircut one time, but
Uh-huh.
we also sang "I Kissed the Girl" way too many times for us to like dunk
Yeah.
on her. And that's the way I feel
Yeah.
about Rooster Teeth. Like
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth has too many moments for me
Mhm.
to shit on her, and I will always appreciate her for what she did. I am gonna follow the people I love. I've already followed some of them on Twitch for years,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping we can get them on the show. Maybe I don't know, but like fuck Rooster Teeth,
Yeah.
you are and will be. You are one of those
That
media
bitch.
companies. You may have fizzled out at the end, but you left still for a lot of people that bitch.
Yeah.
You left
Absolutely.
that girl.
Yes. As someone like I forget how many like friends of like content creators and everybody that I'm like friends with, and then like to see when Rooster Teeth closed, like all these people, I was like, oh yeah, like we were
Yep.
all into this bitch, bro. Like it wasn't just like me that like maybe I'm the only one that listened to all the 250 podcasts, but
You got like
like
four something now. Jesus. Oh, she
yeah,
dying. She
um,
dying.
I'm dying. I ain't even take a hit yet, and I'm like dying. Um, but I might not. It's been. We all had our thing we were obsessed with, right? Like you were
Mhm.
like you were really into Ruby. I was not like a big fan of that. I don't think most people know what 1-800 panic is. I didn't like 1-800
No,
panic. I don't think most people know what Strangerhood is,
no,
but
they
I
don't.
was into that bitch. That was one of its their best ones. I feel. I don't know if it was as good as Red versus Blue, but there are times that I liked it better. A couple episodes I liked it better. Um,
Yep.
we're all in this bitch. To so many people. And it sucks because like it's been a lot of blows to the childhood lady. Goku died. The creator of Goku. What's his name? Jesus. Um,
Uh
fuck.
Tommy Eury?
Toriyama.
No. something.
Um,
Fucking Goku. He's ever gonna be a
yes,
Super Saiyan god. Yeah.
yeah.
And you know
It,
what?
it, it-
He w- he would call racist too, but I kind of support it.
yeah.
Like somebody,
Like Popo
no,
was racist as fuck. To be honest,
somebody asked
Popo
him
was racist as shit,
why
man.
he doesn't draw more black characters in Dragon Ball, and he was like, Dragon Ball is a Japanese anime. It's not meant for black characters. And I was like,
Oh, Jesus
pop off,
Christ.
say it with your chest. Okay, damn. Like shit.
Fuck my
I can't
feelings
be.
and shit.
I was impressed about it. I'm like, I feel like it was from one of those people that is like watches America's Next Top Model now. And it's like, that's wrong. Yeah, we knew it was wrong back then, but we couldn't say anything. But
It's
you know
racist,
what?
but it's my race.
Rooster Teeth is gonna go out as an internet staple, an internet medium, and I think we won't see it for a bit, but we are gonna see the effects of this because Rooster Teeth did have whatever their front facing stuff was, they had so many fingers in other things. They had some game development stuff going on. I know they had tabletop. They were a big proponent of physical card media and like tabletop games. They printed a lot of stuff for other people. So I don't know how that's gonna like go out. The animes, and I know they had they just announced 4 animations that were coming supposed to come out this summer, so I don't know what's gonna happen to those. Camp just got renewed for a couple more episodes, so I don't know. I bet you all that's
Really?
gonna like end and then,
Hmm.
but like Rooster Teeth, thank you. Truly, baby girl, thank you for what you do. I hope the people have continued success. And it's it's truly a place for nerds because people of all kinds went there. Because the man, I don't know if him and Barbara are still dating because again I haven't watched in forever, but when Trevor Collins was there, Trevor Collins was
Oh,
literally an
cool.
astrophysics engineer. He worked for NASA for a period of time, so
What
they're
about
not
Trevor?
hiring stupid people. Like
No.
people know what they're doing. It's just this is the world, and I'm
Except
glad they bowed out gracefully.
I was gonna say they're not hiring stupid people except for Gavin. Like, Gavin's super fucking smart. It's just a meme
Right?
that Gavin is dumb. It's just a very it's very much a meme that
You
Gavin
see
is
him in
dumb.
Achievement Hunter, you're like, you are the dumbest bitch I've ever seen. And then you see him in
No.
Slow Mo Guys, and you're like, oh my
Yes.
god,
Yes.
Nobel Peace Prize. Okay,
Yes. Yes. No, but
I love Gavin.
exactly. Exactly. That's exactly it. Uh yeah, dude. Nobel Peace Prize, amazing shit, man. So again, Trisha Hertzberg, not Trisha Hertzberger, she's from something else. Somebody who was from one of Philip DeFranco's entities, which was SourceFed. Megan Turney ended up working
Oh,
at Rooster Teeth. Yeah, and then that's another relationship because of Rooster Teeth. Yes, because of
yeah,
Rooster Teeth.
Jessica Negri, like they went into the cosplay space. Like Rooster Teeth is so much,
Hmm.
and you know what? I think maybe
Yeah,
we'll like we'll have to like group
machinima.com
together the
too.
sections, and
Hmm.
we'll cover them. We will,
Yeah.
if you guys are watching, we're gonna wrap this up because I am starving
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
We will be playing more Resident Evil, but we usually don't do topical things, but this was just too much of a like important thing to not talk about.
It
So,
hurt us both.
oh yeah, I cried.
Bonded over this shit. Yeah, no, I did not expect to fucking cry like at all, and I definitely cried. I fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
you gotta cry.
Miss has Miss has a flag of Rooster Teeth. Like,
And I'm gonna go hang it back up after this. But remember, tomorrow it's 2XP. I'm hoping. Wait, ooh, I have to check our DMs. I don't know. Des is supposed to either this week or next week. Des is coming back because we know she's a busy bitch, and I know you guys want to hear what she has to say on things.
I love Des, man. Inspiration. You talk about inspirations, man. I love her,
Right,
man.
right. She should. I'm hoping this week, but it might be next week. I have to double check. 2XP 7 p.m. EST 6 EST. I don't know why I went with EST. I'm just in EST times with
Oh,
everything.
please. Be in my time zone, please.
Well, you know, the city runs on EST, so I'm usually in that
It
time.
does. It does.
It's frustrating. Thursday, nothing. Fame and I will be recording a 2XP. It's gonna be once a month for now because, like we said, I'm burnt out. I cannot be doing 4 shows a week anymore. I'm so tired, guys.
Girl,
I can't. So
girl, I
It's gonna be
I
hold on, once a week. Let's get through this because I want to go eat.
no,
Once a
yeah,
week,
you're
it's
right.
gonna or once a month, it's gonna be take two until we decide to boost it up. Happy hour might come back. We're still in talks with Bubbles. We don't know yet. We're planning to do extra life this year, so bug fame about a bunch of stuff. Tell him you love him. All of everybody's descriptions or everybody's shits in the social media descriptions below. And we will see you guys not next Tuesday because that's gonna be 15 minutes of fame, but that we'll go see you guys the Tuesday after that. Remember, we're bi-weekly here. If you want to hear what we have to say, you can watch this video again. But if you're on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, where all the podcasts go, we will be there as well. I will be uploading them later. We're up to date, kind of, but not really. But yeah, Bordy, what you got for the people? Where can we find you in the next 2 weeks?
And I just want to say, like, in terms of like hosting, look at that. She's doing that shit. Let's shut you down. Let's like walk and let's talk about this shit right here. I love it.
15 years of being
I
on
love it.
YouTube, babes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
exhausted, burnt the fuck out, and ready to pull my hair
I
out.
I want you to take better care of yourself. I was yelling at her. I was like, "Oh, we
She
need to go
was.
on." I was like, "Bitch, girl, like you were just going through it last week. I care about you. I want to make sure that
It's
you're
no
okay."
time to stop. Just
Genuinely.
go. But
Nah,
what do you got for the
nah.
peoples?
That's
We're not.
how
No, no, no. We're
I
not
ended
getting into
up
this.
burned
What do you
out.
got for the peoples?
Anyway, madam, that needs to sit the fuck down, but then also take care of herself, but also keep doing your shit because I love it. I love it, and I love to see you do
Yeah,
it.
damn right.
I appreciate it. My name is Bordy McBoard.
Oh, she's French.
Um, Buddy McBood of the Bordeaux Plate. I was I actually I follow somebody who's like a francophone person, and sometimes they switch it up. And I was like reading it like earlier this week, and I was like, "Oh, I got that accent still." Ooh. Je ne sais quoi. Oh, okay. Je sais
Croissant.
pas. J'aime Cogs in the Machine. J'aime the flow hugger. Yes, j'aime everybody. Yes, j'aime, j'aime, j'aime.
Je
J'aime
m'appelle.
you. Je m'appelle Bordy
Jam
McBoard. You
means.
can find me.
Yeah.
You can find me being goofy on social media on twitter.com or x.com slash
Yes.
Bordy underscore McBoard. You can also, I mean, let me comment. I lost the page already. Oh my god.
Girl,
I'll
I lost
comment.
the whole book. I threw it out.
Man, I'm lost in the world. I'm lost in the world. You can find me. I said D right there. If you look at my, if you look at the three dots next to my name.
I just looked over and it was a small D. Thought you go for the big D at least.
Oh man, shit. You know what? I need to put the triple D so they know. Uh,
Yeah.
triple big D. Uh,
Big D.
so you click those three like the D's buttons right there at the side. Click it. You can see my YouTube. There's like Resident Evil somewhere in there, and then my Twitter's on there. There you can find my link tree, Bordy underscore McBoard. That's my Twitter. You can see all the things I'm doing. I'm back on television. It is going to be yes, HBCU, not HBCU, it's not HBCU, it's Compete Forever Madden League with Larry Ridley is CBS Sports and Brandon Bell, former Bengal, what's it,
Ooh.
Cincinnati Bengal.
Yeah.
And then me, just I don't know why I'm there. Talking about Madden and then talking about she's about to strangle me. Okay, I'll be
No,
saying intelligent
because
things
I didn't let you
sometimes.
go in, so I'm not gonna go in. So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she doesn't kill me, and so I make intelligent reads on Madden. I know Madden better than they do. So I have to
As
give
somebody
myself
who has
credit.
watched football with her, yes.
Yeah,
If you love
I,
football, yeah, she
I'm
knows what she's
I'm
talking about.
obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm there and I'm talking about Madden stuff. We actually missed our live recordings for this week. We actually finished that yesterday, but I'll start talking to you guys. Compete Forever on YouTube. I don't remember when we're going to be live. It's probably going to be the beginning of next month, when we do our next season and stuff like that. That's where it's live
This is why
on
you should follow
TV.
you so
Yes,
you
this is
can
why you
get
should
from your
follow me.
Twitter
I tweeted. There
or
you go. Oh, I'm sorry.
X.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry. I'm describing too much. And then HBCU, and then the Griot. I don't know when that is, but it's somewhere time. So yeah, those things. But yeah,
But y'all, please, if you ain't never watched her live cast or watch any of the anything, just go sit with Bordy for a bit outside of like what we do, because y'all know us. But like go see her with people you guys may not know. And go watch how she got to, you know? She, she got to. That's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna spoil it for you because I mean you just watched us for 2 hours, so you know what you're
question
going
mark.
to get into. But like she got to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then make sure you follow the floor hugger too, because when she's screaming that Tomb Raider, ooh wee.
I mean the sun
Mm,
has already given up, so I was trying to do a natural light today, so I guess we're not doing
you
that
did
until
it.
it's more sunny
Oh,
out.
girl, don't do it now. I didn't say when. I didn't say do it now. I said when she does it, it's gonna be great, bro. And
Oh yeah.
honestly, anytime around, like I said, tomorrow it's not going to, but in 2XP with her next week, yo, it's gonna be ooey. Come on, we love the floor
Yeah.
hugger. Whatever video he's dropping, are you dropping a video soon?
No.
Okay.
I'm working on the part 3 of the close down, and then I don't have anything after that because I want to do retro stuff. But I also, you know, we'll get into that later.
Coming,
But we'll see you
coming.
guys in the next one. What's it? What?
Oh, I was just saying it's coming. The French are coming. The Canadians are coming. They're about to come. Oh no.
Oh, we came. We stabbed you. We got charged for war crimes, and we left, baby girl. But we will see you guys in the next one. Next, not next week. Again, 2 weeks from now, we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, or if we want to play Resident Evil. Love you guys. Can't really express enough how you let us do anything. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.